Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learning about the new topic that is server-side rendering in the Angular 19. So that is nothing but in short form we can call it as an SSR. So let's try to understand about the server-side rendering in the Angular 19. So hey there, Angular enthusiasts, are you looking to make your web app faster, improve SEO and boost performance? So today we will dive deep into the server-side rendering SSR in the Angular 19. So SSR lets us render pages on the server and deliver HTML content directly to the browser. So up to now what will happen is whenever you are trying to develop an application, so you will be able to see all the content and all those things is rendered in the browser itself. Okay. So now it will render the pages in the server side and the HTML content will be delivered to the browser. This improves performance, makes our app SEO friendly and enhances user experience. So now in this video we will cover what is an SSR, why we use the SSR and how to set up SSR in Angular 19. I'll try to show you like this. And how to set up SSR in Angular 19 with standalone components. So entire our application will be starting with the SSR with Angular 19 within standalone components only. And we'll learn what is an SSR, why we use SSR, and we'll set up an SSR in the Angular 19 with standalone components in this video. We'll try to do it. So first of all, we'll learn what is an SSR. So server-side rendering, the SSR full form is server-side rendering. SSR is a process where the server generates the initial HTML content for our Angular app. This differs from the client-side rendering. So which up to now whatever the Angular applications we have learned is all client-side rendering applications only, where the browser builds the page after downloading the JavaScript. The HTML will be prepared after downloading the JavaScript. So this is all CSR. But here where the server generates the HTML content and deliver to our Angular app. Why we use this SSR? So first one is improved performance. The browser receives fully rendered HTML. Users on slower devices or networks can view content faster. So that is one thing. And why we use the SSR means the second concept is better core web vitals. So if you try to check the web page speed test in the Google, you will be able to have a page speed. So you will be able to have some of these things like first content paint and largest content paint, and you will be able to have CLS, cumulative layout shift, interaction point. So these are some of the things which you will be having in the page test, which it will show you it will give you some points. So that is the main thing. So for the better core web vitals, you will be able to see CWE metrics like first contentful paint and the largest contentful paint are improved. This results in a smoother experience. And also, and the last one is the main thing is the enhanced SEO. Search engines can easily crawl the rendered content, boosting the discoverability of your app. So now how we can create a new project? So here create a new Angular project with SSR means, so here you will be create ng new my Angular SSR app -- standalone -- SSR. So if you try to give it like this, automatically this command creates a new Angular app with SSR pre-configured. It adds essential files like server.ts and also the main server.ts file. So these are the main files which for the SSR it is useful. If you want to add SSR to an existing Angular project means, then you need to use ng add @angular/SSR. This modifies the existing app to support SSR by adding the required files in the configuration. So understand the SSR specific files means, so it will have like something like this. You will be having a my app, and in this one you will be having some files like server.ts, and in the source you will be having app.config.server.ts. So normally we used to have app.config.ts, but here you will be having app.config.server.ts file along with the app.config.ts file. That one also will be having with both the TS files will be merged, and we will be having main.server.ts file, server application bootstrap, and this is an application server entry point, and this one is server application configuration. Server.ts starts the server to handle SSR requests. Main.server.ts bootstrap the Angular application on the server. App.config.server provides configuration specific to the server side application. That's it. So if you want to run the SSR application means, then you need to do npm run build-SSR, or otherwise npm run serve SSR also you can do it. And we also have an hybrid rendering APIs, which we'll try to learn about these upcoming videos. So Angular 19 also introduces a developer preview APIs for hybrid rendering. So each page, how you want to render it, should be pre-rendered, or it should be client-side rendered, or it should be server-side rendered. So like that we can use it different types. Each page also you can give. These APIs combine SSR and CSR seamlessly. So we'll stay tuned for the updates. So I will provide the updates for this one. I will explain you in this video. So today what we have did it. So today we have learned how to set up SSR in the Angular 19, its benefits and how to verify it. If you found this helpful, like, share and subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions. So we'll see you in the next video. So before closing this one, so I will try to show you how to set up this one. So just I have written in the template itself. But if you like this video helpful means, so like, share and subscribe to the video. So now what we'll try to do is we'll try to set up the we'll try to create the project. So for this one what I will try to do is I will go to my drive and here I will be having Angular 19 and in this one I will create a new file, so the new project. So let's go into the command prompt. Okay, so just simple. So if you try to see here, so ng new --SSR. So just you can type it like this and it will ask you some series of questions. So let's try to see. So this is our Angular project. So automatically the it will be created in Angular project. It will take some time. So let it take. So it is asking what name would you like to use for the workspace of the initial project means. So I will give something like Angular -SSR. So I am giving it like this and it will ask you some series of questions. Okay. So style sheet is CSS. So let it create. So would you like to use the server side routing and API engine APIs means. So right now I am pressing enter. So it will create the files. Let it create. So it is creating it is installing all the packages that is available, that is needed for this Angular project. So let it create. So the version for this one is Angular 19, right? At the time of this recording, I am using the version of the Angular as Angular 19, the latest one. So I am opening the project here, Angular SSR, and this is the project structure. And if you try to see the structure for this one, so here in our source, if you open this source, and here if I try to open one by one, so here you will be able to see a server.ts file. So this is our server.ts file. Okay, and you will be having another one is nothing but main.server.ts file. So this is also main.server.ts file. And apart from this one, in the app you will be able to see app.config.server.ts file. So these are the 2-3 files which you will be able to see more common. And at the time of this recording, the version of this Angular is 19.0.0. So we are using the version of Angular 19.02. So now if you try to check this Angular, so here what I can do it is, so we can just use npm start. So let's try to do the npm start. Okay. So I will try to show you npm start. So let it start. So here it has been built. So you will be able to see two bundles. One is browser bundle and also the server bundle. And those things will not be in the disk. So you will be able to see one browser and also one server bundle, which we will try to learn one by one. So localhost /4200. If you try to open this one, localhost /4200. Now you will be able to see the output. So now if I try to change this code, so we will be able to see the change. Let's see. So here you will be able to see hello Angular SSR, and these are all the CLI docs and all those things. And if I try to show you this one all, so if I try to go into this one and if I try to do hello, see here we are able to see the HTML content, whatever the content we are able to see there, congratulations and all those things. So you are able to see in the HTML also. So this is what I want to explain you. So everything, whatever the thing you are able to see it here, everything you will be able to see in the page source, which will be an SEO friendly. So this is the basic setup of this SSR in the Angular 19. Hope you understand about this one. So if you like this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any doubts, please post the comments below to this video and I will try to give the reply. Thank you. Hey, hi guys. Everyone, welcome back to my channel Leela WebDev. In today's video, we will dive into a very powerful feature in Angular 19. That is nothing but HTTP client caching during server-side rendering. So in this video, we will try to explore what is an HTTP client caching and how it works in SSR and browser environments, and how to configure the HTTP client caching using the provide client hydration. And I will try to show you a simple working example of implementing and customizing this feature. So these are the things I will try to explain you. So what is this HTTP client caching? So let me try to explain you this one. So here I will try to open a new one. Yeah. So when an Angular app is running on the server, for example during SSR, HTTP client can automatically cache outgoing HTTP requests. This cache is transferred to the browser as a part of the initial HTML. And I will try to show you the real-time example also. What happens is, for example, let's say that your Angular app is running on the server. At the initial load, so you are trying to make an HTTP request. So the server will try to make an HTTP request and it will cache that outgoing HTTP request, so that when you try to open this Angular app, so another request will not be made. So this cache is transferred to the browser as a part of the initial HTML. In the browser, so what I want to tell you is, so here I will try to paste it here. In the browser, during the initial rendering, Angular checks the cache to reuse the data instead of making a fresh HTTP request, saving time and the resources. Once the app becomes stable, which means the app's initial rendering is complete, the HTTP client stops using the cache and falls back to the regular behavior. So this is a wonderful and also actually it's a nice behavior. So what we will be having, I will try to show you this behavior actually. So now the default behavior. So first of all, what is the default behavior you need to understand. So by default, HTTP client caches all the head and the get requests that do not contain authorization or proxy authorization headers. For example, let's say that if you are having any get requests or anything, so if it doesn't have any authorization header or anything, it caches all those requests. For example, if you are fetching a list of products or users with a get request, Angular caches that during SSR and reuses it in the browser. But what if you want to include other requests like post? Angular allows you to configure the caching behavior with the HTTP transfer cache options also. So using this cache options function, so we can also cache the post request also. So let's see how to enable this HTTP client caching and configure it for custom use cases. So I will set up a simple Angular app with SSR demonstrating the default caching, and then we'll customize it to the include post request. So here this is our example, right? So already we have our project set up, and I will be using the JSON placeholder. I will try to show you the simple request. So this is our JSON placeholder, okay? And now what I want to do it is, so here let's go to the app.component.ts file. For this one, I will create a new component that is nothing but HTTP cache. So I will try to show you this one. So let it create by the time. So here the component has been created. Let's open this app.component.html file, and I will remove this entire thing, okay? And here I will try to use the app-http-cache. So this is our code, and in our component.ts file also I will save it, so that now here we are able to see the output. So here we should be able to see the output. So here, so if I try to check this one in our view source, so you will be able to see that one, okay? So now we are able to get the HTTP cache works. So now what I will try to do it is, so let's open this http cache.component.ts file. So this is our cache file, and here let's assume that I am having a post dollar, okay? So this is observable of which is of type observable of post. So for this one I will create an export interface post. So this is our post, export interface post. I will have an ID number, and I will have a title of type string, and I will have another one that is nothing but body of type string. That's it. So these are the things which I will be having, and here I can create, so it is of type post or null is equal to null. So at the starting phase I have created null. So now when we are trying to get ng on in it, so I want to make an HTTP request. So for this one what I will do, HTTP inject of HTTP client. So I have injected this HTTP client, and let's import this inject also, injected, and here I will try to make it this dot post dollar is equal to this dot HTTP dot get, and which returns the array of post, and here the URL will be the JSON placeholder. So this is our URL, okay? That's it. So now if you try to observe carefully, so here it should be array of post. That's it. So now if you try to observe carefully, so what it will try to do, normally this one is not a general client side application, it's a server based application. So now if you try to see here, we are injecting the HTTP client. When the page loads, so when the page automatically loads here, so let's try to load it. So when the page it is trying to load it, so now what will happen is, so the server side will try to see this one, okay, on ng on it we need to call the server side. So before sending it to the HTML to the browser, so it will try to load the request. Okay, it will try to get the response, and it will cache the response, and it will say, yeah, frame the HTML and send it to the client. So now here we are getting an issue. Okay, fine. So let's go to the app.config.ts file. App.config.ts file. So here we need to provide HTTP client. That's it. So we haven't used this one, right? So now we are, after providing this HTTP client, hopefully we should be able to get this one. So here if you try to see ng on init, so the request is not getting made. Okay, if you try to observe carefully, the request is not modified. So Angular hydrated 2 components and 5 nodes. So these are the things it has been added. We will try to see about this hydration and concept in the upcoming videos. So now here in the network call, ng on init call has not been made. So now let's try to loop over the data, and we'll try to show it whether the data also it will try to show it or not. So here I will try to show the div, and here I will be having the h2 of post, and here I can have a simple table. Okay, and here I can have a t head, and here I will show something like tr and a th title, and another one is the body and a t body, and here I will be having the tr, and here I can loop over the tr directly. You can loop over the tr at the rate for post dollar of async only, right? Sorry, async, and here you can use track post.id, and this is the code we'll be having, and we need to go into this one, and here I can have, okay, async, why it is not coming means, so here we need to add in the imports common module. So in as a part of the Angular 19, so there is no need to mention standalone to true. It is by default standalone only. So if you want to not to make this standalone true, standalone, if you want to include this in a ng module means, then you need to make it as a standalone to false here. Okay, so then only it will work. So here by default it is a standalone, so there is no need to mention this one as standalone. In Angular 18 we need to mention this one as explicitly standalone to true, but now it is not needed. So here we can have a td. Okay, so here you can have this one as post.title, and here I can mention post.body. That's it. So now if you try to see the output, so here if you refresh this page, so you will be able to get everything. So if I try to check whether this one will be a part of this page source or not, if you want to see it means, automatically here it will be a part of the source. So here you'll be able to see the entire code, you will be able to observe. So carefully if you try to observe, the entire code is there. See how nicely the HTML content, everything has been embedded into this one as a part of this one. So previously client side HTML means you will not able to see the entire data in the HTML in the source. But now what it is happening here in the ng on init, we are trying to make the get call. So what will happen is the automatically the HTTP client call and all those things will be cached. By default the get request will be cached, and there is no need for you to call the thing. For example, let's say that I will be having a get request. Let's say that here I will be having something like button. I will use the get post here. Okay, and I will have a click request here. Click is equal to get post. So we are having some get post method. So now if I want to have this one get post, then what can I do here? So just directly I can use this directly here, and in this one I can use this dot get post directly. Sorry, this dot get post directly I can use it. Now if you try to see here, then also it will not it will cache the request, so the call will not be made. When you try to click on this get post, now the call will be made. If you try to observe carefully, now the call has been made. So you need to understand one thing, that the get request and all those things, whatever the things is there, automatically the things will be cached. The get request will be cached, so there will be no need to initial render, it will not be made. But afterwards, whenever you are trying, once the page everything is loaded means, then you are trying to make the same request means it will not be cached. So this is one beautiful feature available in the Angular SSR, you need to understand. So now let's say that at the starting only I want to save the post, let's assume. So will this post request also will be cached? Let's see. So here I will be having add post. Okay, and here let's try to see this dot http dot post of post request I am trying to make, and this one will return the post request. Here the same URL you can have it, the post request. So here, oh sorry, the same request I can make it, and this one will return the post. Okay, and this will be, why it is happening like this, this dot http dot post. Okay, so this one we can remove it, and here we need to add it like this. Why it is happening everything, I don't know. So let's try to do it like this. Yeah, so this is the http dot post, and here I can have a single post dollar of observable of post or null is equal to null. Okay, so this is our single post, and here I can do this dot single post dollar is equal to, that's it. So now here this dot http dot post. Okay, we need to send the argument. So for this one we need to send the argument means, so here I can send the title test post, and also another one is test body. Okay, so now we are trying to send this one. So now when you are trying to, what is happened here, so I can paste it like this. Okay, title and also the body. Okay, so now we are trying to send the body. Now if you try to see here, so at the initial time when you are trying to make a request here in the HTTP call, so if I let's see whether it is, oh here I got a request error, so let's try to restart this one. Let me restart. So now here we are calling this add post. So at the starting it is not calling. Why? Because we haven't subscribed to this one. Okay, let's go to the http cache.html, and here I will try to add the post here. Okay, and this one will be add post, and here I want to show the add post data also. So here I can show something like div add post details, and so here I will try to show the single post. Okay, so here I can show something like @if single post dollar of async as post. Okay, so we can use it directly like this, not a problem. And here, so this one will be something like post dot title, that's it. So now the added post you will be able to see it here. So if I try to show you here, so test post, it has been added, and also if you are able to see that Ajax call, the post request call has been made. So that means the browser will be taking care of this post call, whereas the get call and all those things, so we are not able to see this get call. Why? Because the get post has called on the ngr init, we are not able to see that get request has been made, whereas this post request has been made. So you need to understand that by default head request and get request and all those things will be cached by the server, whereas this post request will not be cached. So this will be done by the browser. So that is one thing which you need to remember. So this is the concept which I want to tell you. But if you want to cache the post request also, then what you need to do it is, so here in our thing, so in this client hydration, so you need to provide a special what I want to say is a special one with HTTP with I didn't remember exactly, with HTTP transfer cache options. So you need to provide the cache options, and inside this one you need to provide include post requests also to true. Then it will try to cache the post request also. Now if you try to refresh this page, so if you try to refresh this page, so now the post request will not be cached. So now here you will not able to see any post request here. Post request will not be made. But if you try to see get post, so you are able to get it. But after the page is loaded, when you try to click on the add post, then also you will be able to see the add post request also. So this is how you will be able to cache the what I want to say is client requests also. So this is the thing. So now in this video what we have done, we have explored how Angular's client HTTP caching works during SSR in the browser, and also we have seen about the default caching behavior for the get and end request, and also we have seen how to configure the caching for additional request types like post. I have shown you, and I have shown you a practical example how to fetch and add the data with caching enabled. So this is all about how to do this one. So thanks for watching this video. So don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more Angular tutorials. I will see you in the next video, and if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. I will try to give the reply. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video we will try to learn about the browser specific APIs, how to execute the browser specific APIs in the Angular SSR. So normally when you are trying to run Angular on the server, so using the Angular SSR or using the Angular Universal, whatever it may be, certain browser specific APIs are unavailable because the server does not have a DOM or a browser environment. So example of such unavailable objects include window, document, navigator, HTML element properties like scroll height. So these type of properties which you are trying to use the browser specific DOM elements. So these things will not be available when you are trying to do the Angular specific thing. For example, let's say that you are in the app.component.ts, let's assume. So here in this one. So now in this ng on init, when you are trying to access the window or anything, so it will not be available. So here if you try to access console.log of window, so it will not be available. So now if you try to check the same output for this one, so now you will be able to see an error, most probably. I don't know, so whether you will be able to see the error or not. I am trying to refresh this page. Okay, so we are able to get the window. I don't know how we are able to get the window. So some browser specific APIs will not be there. So for example, let's say that window is available. Let's say that in the app.component.html, let's say I am having a div, okay, hash element, let's say, and if I want to access this element, means maybe this could not be available according to me. If I try to use the view child of if I access this one, so using the view child concept in such a way that that element, if I try to access this element using the I will give the element only, and which is of type element ref, okay, element ref, that's it. So here if I try to access this one, and here if let's try to get this element, whether we can able to access this time or not. Let's see whether we can able to access this one or not. Now if you see the example, see property element has no initial and is definitely assigned in the constructor. So we are able to get it as an undefined. So now how we can able to get this element? So let's try to see. So some of the elements like windows and all those things, HTML elements will not be available. Angular, for this reason, Angular provides a specific lifecycle hooks like after render and after next render. So we have already covered about this after render and after next render lifecycle hook in our Angular course, this Angular 19 course only. So to handle code that should only execute in the browser. So now, so we need to use the after next render for this one. So what it will try to do it is, it will delay the execution until Angular finishes rendering the view in the browser. So I will try to show you one simple example. Let's say that here I will be having some simple HTML. Let's say I will be showing some simple HTML, and I will try to keep it at the bottom, this one, okay. So authorizing this one class, this is some content whose height we want to calculate. It only works in the browser. So I want to calculate this height. So for this one, what I can do it is, so here I will try to get the content of element, and here I will try to give some CSS also. So let's say that in this content I will give the CSS like this. Now here let's go to the output and let's see the output, how it will look like. So here we are able to see, and this content height I want to check it. So now let's see about this one. I am able to get the content. So here I will use content, and this one will be content ref. I will try to use the content ref, which is of type element ref, fine. And here let's try to check the content ref, whether I can able to get the content height or not. Let's see whether we can able to get it or not. So we are getting it as an undefined. So for this reason, what we need to do, we need to mention this one in after next render. So let's use the constructor, and here I need to use the after next render, and this takes a callback function. I will try to explain the code also. Content height is equal to this dot content ref. Let's try to see whether we can able to get it in ng after we unit. I think I don't know. Let me try to check. So here I will try to stop this one. So now this one is view child in non g after unit. Let's see. So here we are able to get this element ref. Maybe this one. Let's see. Okay. And here if I want to access this one, yeah, we are able to get it. We are able to get this element also. Now if I want to access this one, content ref dot native element dot scroll height. Let's try to check it whether we are able to get it or not. I don't know this one, so we are able to get this one. Oh, we are able to get this thing in this one. So let me know in the comments how we are able to get it. So whether this local storage, does it work? Local storage, console.log of local storage, local storage. Let's see this local storage whether it works or not. Okay, so this one is channel name, web vital. So I don't know from where this is all coming. In the application, in the local storage, do we have these all the things? Okay, so maybe we are using this ng server, this one also, maybe that because of that reason it is working. Normally these all will not work, only in the after next run. So what I was trying to tell you is, whenever you want an action or some content, you want to execute some logic when this server has been rendered completely, means then you want to execute some logic in the browser, means then we need to use this after next render. And here we can use constant content height is equal to this dot content ref dot scroll height. So here I can get about this scroll height, and here I want to execute this console.log. So console.log of content height in the browser is content height. So now let's try to see the same output we are able to get here in this after next render or not. So here we are able to get content height in the browser is 57. So we are able to get this one. So this is how normally we will be using this after next render to execute. So here you will be having a second option also, that is nothing but phase thing. So you need to mention that you can mention this phases. So you will be having one option that is nothing but phases. I don't know how we can use this one, phases. Let's over here we will be able to see options, after render options. So we callback function is completed, and yeah, this is our callback function, and we need to provide, and here check to manual cleanup, so we don't have a phase. Yeah, here we are having a phase, and here after render phase. So you will be having early read or write. So we are using the read only. We will be using. I think maybe we should not use it for the after next render, I think. So we should only use for the after render, maybe, according to me, as my understanding. So let's try to check in the after render. We need to import this after render also. So this one will this after render will execute every time whenever any change detection cycle occurs. So here you can use the phase. So here I think the phase will be there, I think. Let's try to see if this one is also not showing, means then I don't know. So phase after render phase, so maybe I think it should be available. Why it is not showing it as a empty, I don't know. So fine. So what I was trying to tell you is, so whenever you want to execute this code, so here, so we have defined a DOM element, example something like a paragraph, content ref, and we have applied some CSS style to this one. So we have imported after next render from the Angular core. In the constructor we have used this after render to run browser only code. Example, accessing scroll height after the view has been accessed. The after next render hook ensures that the scroll height properly is only accessed in the browser. On the server, this code is skipped, preventing the runtime errors. So this one will be skipped, preventing the runtime errors in the server. So now this is how we will be doing it. So we will be working on this one, like this one. So now when you, so that's it guys about this one. So now and that's how you other servers compatible components in Angular 19. This ensures your app works beautifully across both the server and browser environments. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more Angular tips and updates thing. So hope you understand about this concept. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. I will try to give the reply. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about the Angular SSR pre-rendering. What is this pre-rendering concept? I will try to explain you about this one. So pre-rendering concept means, so what can I say is, so for example, let's say that, hey everyone, welcome to back to my channel Leela WebDev. In today's video, we will dive deeply into the pre-rendering in the Angular 19. So what is this pre-rendering concept in the Angular SSR? I will explain you what it is, how it works, and demonstrate a practical example step by step. So by the end of this video, you will be able to know how to pre-render the static pages or dynamic pages in your Angular 19 application using standalone components. So let's get started about this one. So first of all, you need to understand about this pre-rendering. So let's try to go to the Google and we'll see anywhere if they try to explain Angular SSR pre-rendering. We'll try to see any diagrams or anything it is present. So not medium. Let's go to the images. So here you will be able to see about the pre-rendering concept. They have given something like, so for example, let's say that whenever I will try to open in a big tab, this one. Yeah. Hopefully you are able to see it. So now here, for example, let's say that whenever the user navigates to /books, directly if the user navigates to /books, so first for /books request will be made and the server compiles the books page and renders the HTML and it will render back the HTML page to this one. So this is the basic implementation of the server side rendering. Now what is the pre-rendering concept? So when the user navigates to /books, it will request the books. But here what it will try to do it is, it will the /books page, whatever the HTML page, everything will be there. It will keep it in our file system. So I will try to show you where is the HTML will be saved. Directly the HTML file will be saved in the file system. So whenever you are making a /books means it will try to check in the file system whether a already compiled HTML page is there or not. If it is there means then it will send back to the browser. And for example, if it doesn't have means it will go back to the server, it will process the request and it will save it and it will send it to you. So this is called as a pre-rendering concept. At the build time only it will at the build time only it will try to save the everything. So here by the definition what I can say, so here I can tell you the clear definition for this one. So pre-rendering is a process where Angular generates the static HTML for your application during the build phase. This boosts the SEO and performance and improves the page load time since static files are served directly to the browser. So this is one thing which I want to tell you. So now how we can add an SSR to an existing project? So that is nothing but ng add, you can use the Angular SSR, we can do it. So now let's try to implement the pre-rendering concept in this one. So if you try to go here into this, so now you have a clear understanding about this pre-rendering concept. So now here, if I try to open this angular.dev, so here angular.dev, so this is our documentation, official documentation. So if you go to the docs here, and we are learning about the server side rendering and the hybrid rendering, and we are learning about the build time pre-rendering, and here you will be able to see pre-rendering commonly referred to as static site generation. We'll try to see about the static site generation also. So now here, so it is giving you the options how we can pre-render the parameterized applications and all those things. I will try to show you this product/1 and product/555. So for this one, what we need to do, so just I will try to explain you how we can see without pre-rendering and also the with pre-rendering. And right now we have a application already, the Angular SSR application is there. So now I will try to delete this thing. So now in order to have this pre-rendering concept and all those things, if you want to work it means, so I will try to show you. So the normal command which you are trying to use it right now is the npm start. So this is the common command, is the build command. So just I will try to show you the example for this one. So now this is the thing. Let's go to the app.component.ts file. And right now we will add some routes to the application. So here I will be adding some routes, app.routes.php. So here we will be having some path is equal to empty, and I will load the component home component. Okay, let's create the home component for this one. So I will be creating the ngGC home component, sorry, home, just try to keep it as in just home. So now let's create. So home component has been created. So let's try to include this home component here. So fine, and let's try to have another one that is nothing but component path is equal to HTTP cache. We have used it, right? So let's load the component, that one, HTTP cache component. And now we will have another one that is nothing but dynamic component. We'll have it. So here I will have something like products/id. Okay, so anybody goes, so we will load the component product component. So let's try to create that product component also. NGGC product. Okay, so let's try to create this product component also. So now product component is also created. So here I will be using that product component. Okay, so these are the routes which I am trying to implement. Let's go to the app.config.ts file whether the routes has been implemented into this one or not. App.config.ts file, yeah. And here we are having the provide router and the routes is also added. So here when we are trying to use the client side means we need to use the with fetch. So this is the recommended one which you need to use it. So fine. So we are having the cache options, post request true and all those things. We have learned about this cache option thing. Fine. Let's go to the app.component.html file. So here I want to clear it out. So I will remove this cache thing and let's try to keep it that one. So this is some content whose height and all those things. And here I can have one UL and here I can have one LI and here I can have one A link and router link. Okay. So this one is the home page. So I will try to keep it as home page. And I can have another one slash http cache, so which is nothing but http cache. Okay, and I will try to use another one, and here this one will be products/1 and here I can use product1. So now another one will be here product/3. Let's assume. So I will be having product/3. So this is just I am using it, and let's go to the app.component.ts file and let's remove this HTTP cache component as we are not using it. And here I need to add the router link. That's it. So this is our basic thing. Let's go here into this one, and here let's go to the HTTP localhost 4200. If I try to open this one, so you should be able to see cannot bind router link. It is an unknown property of anchor link. Something like it will show some error. So fine. Now you will be able to see home HTTP cache products. Now if I try to click on HTTP cache, I am able to get the products product1, product3, and everything is working fine. So now we are successfully able to do this one. So now what I want to do it is here. So now I want to pre-render the product/1 and product/3. So I want to show you this one. So why? Because when you are trying to use this product1 and product3, I need to show the product details. For showing the product details, we need to have a Node.js API so that we can create our Node.js API, and we will try to have our normal API, REST API, and we will try to see whether the pre-rendering option will be working or fine. So this is all about the basics of the pre-rendering concept in the Angular 19. Hope you understood about this concept. So now in the next video, I will try to explain you about this pre-rendering, how we can do it, that for the dynamic routes and all those things, pre-rendering, how we can do it. I will try to show you. So hope you understood about this one. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe for more Angular tips. So let me know in the comments if you would like me to cover more advanced topics or something like that. So see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. And here in this video, we are able to see this pre-rendering concept, right? Let's try to understand about this pre-rendering concept. So for understanding this pre-rendering concept, we need to have an API for the products table. So let's try to have a products table so that you can able to understand it very easily. So for this one, what I will try to create is, I will create a new node server for this one. So here in this one, node-main.js file. Okay, so this is our simple file. So here already the Express will be installed in our system. So here, oh sorry, this is not the. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So here in this video, we will try to understand about the pre-rendering concept, actual concept, we'll try to understand it. And here if you observe carefully, so we have implemented the routes for this one. So these two routes, product routes are dynamic. So these two are dynamic. So if I click on the product 1 means I need to get the product 1 details. And if I click on the product 3 means I need to get the product 3 details. And now I need to show the pre-rendering concept. So how the pre-rendering will be worked in this one. So I will try to show you without pre-rendering, and also with pre-rendering how it will be implemented. I will try to show you. So for this one, what we need to do is we need to create the Node.js. server. So for this one, what I will try to do is, so here I will create a new file that is nothing but node-main.js file. So this is our main file, and here I will create constant express is equal to, so this is a simple express server I am creating. So express, okay, and for this one we need to install the express thing already installed, and Angular SSR it will be installed already, it will be available in the package.json if you try to observe. So express will be somewhere, yeah, here it is already installed. And now what we need to have it is, for this one, so in order to make it work in the cars, so we need to install the cars also. So here I will be stopping this one and everything I will be stopping. So here I will be installing npm install cars, so in order to have a cross origin issue. So here I can create constant cars is equal to require of cars. So for the, by the time the cars also will be installed, so cars is also installed. So here let's create the app, constant app is equal to express. So these are all common thing which you people already know. And here app.use of cars, so I am using the cars so that it will be allowing the other domains also to be able to access this one. So here I can use app.listen, so I will be listening to the port 3000, so I will keep the port 3000, and here I can use, so console.log server listening to port 3000. Okay, so server listening to port 3000, we can able to write it here. So that's it. So now what I need to do it is, so here I will create something like app.get request I am doing. So whenever the user tries to access /API/products /ID, so dynamic thing. So you can also use the express router to implement this one. So I am not using those all the concepts. So just I want try to make it as a simple. So constant product details is equal to, I will create an object that is nothing but ID will be same thing like a request dot params.id. Okay, and the other one will be something like title. So I will use the title request dot, oh, sorry, not request. So here I can use product title, and here I can use the dollar of request dot params.id. Okay, and here also I will use the description also simple. So I will try to show you. So here also I can use products description, and here also I can use request dot params.id. That's it. So this is our simple code. So now what I want to do, I want to send this response. So here I can send response.send of this product. I will be sending this product. That's it. So here you need to have response. That's it. So this is our simple node server. Okay. So this is our simple node server. So let's try to start this one. node-main.js file. So just I am running this one. So here you will be able to see the server will be starting. Let's see whether the server will be starting or not. Yeah, server listening to the port 3000. Okay, let's go here, and here I want to write localhost colon 3000/API/product/3. So here we are able to get successfully the JSON response. So now up to here this one is completed. So what we need to do, we need to implement it here in this one. So in order to implement this one, so we need to go to the product.component.ts file, and here what I want to do, here I need to inject the HTTP. HTTP is equal to inject of HTTP client. Okay, and here we will be getting the request params ID. So what I will be trying to do here, so on init, okay, and here we need to provide what we have here. So route, we need to have the route inject of activated route, so that we can get the requested param. So now we will be getting, so here I can have a product, simple product dollar, which is of observable of product or null is equal to null. So this is our observable product of null. So here I will be creating export constant, interface, export interface product, and this one should have an ID of type string, and here you can have a title of type, so whether it is a string or not I don't know. So let's try to see it here. Yes, it's a string only. So here, if you want, you can also convert it into a number also in the Node.js. So here description of type string. That's it. So now let's go into here, and this one is an observable which should be imported from the RxJS, and here also. So now what I want to do here, this dot product dollar is equal to, so this dot http dot get, which gets self type product, and here I need to use http, or otherwise we can use directly the URL which we are able to get it here, and http localhost, and this product will be something like, okay, we cannot get it this one, right? So we need to get the param id. So that one, this dot route dot params, so this one returns an observable, not param map, params you can use it, dot pipe I'm using it, and I need to use the merge map for this one. And when I get here, or otherwise you can use switch map. Actually the correct one is switch map. Why? Because so if anyone changes means, then this one will be the correct, and you will get the params. Okay, here constant id is equal to params dot id, or otherwise you can use params of id if you are getting issue something like this. So we got the id, and here what I can do, so this one I can use it, and this one we need to return it, return this dot http, and here I can use directly the id. That's it, and this one should be stored in a product. So now we are able to get the product. And now if you want to console.log or something like this means, so here you can take it, and let's go into the product.component.html, and here I can use some div, okay, h2, and here I can use product details, and here I can use some div, so title is equal to, and here I can use something like ngIf is equal to product dollar of async as product, and now here I can use title product dot title, and here you can use the description product dot description. So now this is thing, and in order to make it work we need to inject the common module in this one, common module. That's it. So now if you try to check the output for this, so what we need to do, we need to start the npm start. Okay, I am trying to do the npm start here. Okay, so let's try to show you this one. So now if I try to show you the, why this one gone, yeah, let me check it again, maybe that one is building, I think, let it build, yeah, it's still building. So fine, so localhost 4200 is running right now. So let's go into here, and here I will try to do localhost colon 4200. Let's see whether we can able to see the output or not. So it may take some time, I think, depends my system. Still it is doing some re-optimizing dependencies because log file changed. I don't know why it is taking this much of time. So if you people are know about the nice system or something, laptop or anything, means just let me suggest some laptop with a nice processor and all those things. So I am thinking of to purchase it. Let me know in the comments if you know any nice configuration laptop which will be useful for the programming purpose and all those things. So let me know in the comments, we will see. Still it is reoptimizing dependencies because log file has changed. I don't know why it has been changed. So fine, it has running right now. Now let's go here, and still it is refreshing, I don't know. Yeah, here we are able to see it, and if I click on the product /3 we are able to get the title 3, title 1, and also if you go into the inspect element we are able to see the network call also. Now if I try to make a 3, so we are able to see the network call also. If I try to refresh this page, okay, so in the backend side it will be making the call. So this one get request will be cached. In the previous video we have learned it, but it will be cached, but it will, we are able to see the output. So now if I try to refresh this page, so automatically it will be cached. So this is how we will be so this is how we will be setting up the Node.js server. In the next video what I will try to do it is, I will try to show you the exact scenario how the pre-rendering concept will be very much useful, and how it will be used as a game changer thing in this one. So up to here it will be working fine, so without any problem. This is the common thing. We have set up the node server and all the things. Now how we can pre-render the product /3 instead of making a AJAX call to the instead of making an API call to the server without making it, how we can pre-render, and how we can check that whether the pre-render is working fine or correctly or not, means I will try to show you in the next video. So that's it guys about this one. Hope you understood about this Node.js server setup and all the things. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you next time. Bye. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So we are learning about the pre-rendering of this one. So normally for creating this Angular thing, so I will try to close these all the Node.js. Now let's try to understand carefully. So this is the main concept which you need to understand about the pre-rendering concept. So now when you try to create an Angular project with a server-side rendering, so here you will be able to see in the package.json file, so some common options you will be able to see. So the ng build is the option which you need to do it when you want to pre-render the options. And here this is the server which we need to run. So node dist angular server.main.jss. When after running this ng build, if you want to check it means, so you need to check it this one. So let's try to see the in our Angular developer config docs how it will be. So we have created our Angular file. So once the SSR is added, you need to generate the static pages by running the build command, that is nothing but ng build. So this is the command which we need to run. And here the pre-render option. So you need to observe the pre-render option. So here this is our angular.json file. If you try to observe carefully, this is the angular.json file. And if you try to see the pre-render option, by default it will be true. So that means whenever you try to build an ng build, automatically the pre-render option will be true. So all the files, whatever the routes that are static, so the routes which are static routes, all the routes will be pre-rendered by default. So that is the main thing. So when the option is set to false means then the no pre-rendering is done. So when it is true means all options use the default value. When it is an object means, so you can also provide it as an object. So I will try to show you that object thing. So now if you try to understand this thing, options available is the discover routes and also the routes file. So let's try to understand one by one. So here, so where I want to show it, here in our dist file. Okay, so right now we don't have any dist file here. Let's try to build it. npm run build. So I am doing the build option. So when you try to build the option, you will be able to find a dist folder here. All the browser files and also your server files will be created. I told you right, by default in the Angular docs they have mentioned that it is by default the pre-render option is true. Default value is true. So that means whatever the Angular router configuration, unparameterized routes will be pre-rendered. So I will try to show you that option how it will be. So it is taking some time to build it. So let it take some time. So here you will try to observe that. So here the server bundle has been created. And here the pre-rendered is 2 static routes. So 2 routes has been static. So that means pre-rendered. So if you try to see in our app.routes.ts file, now here we are having unparameterized routes is the two routes are. This is a parameterized route. That means it's a dynamic route. So these two are parameterized. So that's why if you try to check the path, column, component, home component and also HTTP cache, so these 2 files will be pre-rendered. So if you try to check in the dist folder, so how it will be having is, so here you will be able to have a browser and also a server. So now here if you open the browser and all those things, so here you will be able to see the HTTP cache thing. Okay, here you will be able to see the HTTP cache and this is the pre-rendered file. And here this index.html is the main thing. So if I try to open this one in our what I want to say is in our live server, I will try to show you the pre-render thing. If you try to open this one, so this is the home page, and if I try to open the same file in the HTTP cache means, so if you will be able to observe the same thing. So see here you will be able to see the output, the data, the API data and all those things, you will be able to see the output. So this is what I want trying to explain you. So that means the entire HTML page will be copied and it will be placed in the dist folder, so that whenever the user tries to access this, what I want to say is /HTTP cache means, then instead of giving you the file, it will give you the pre-rendered file. So directly if the user opens this one, then it will give you the pre-render thing. Now let's go to here. So this is how it will be pre-rendered. So where these pre-render options and all those things is going on, that is nothing but in our angular.json file. So here in our angular.json file, if you observe carefully, here you will be able to have one option, pre-render to true. So this is by default, it is a pre-render to true. Now if I try to keep this one as a false, let's try to see. And I will delete this dist folder. Then we will see that whether this HTTP cache and all those files will be created or not. We will try to see. Delete permanently. It has been deleted, and now I kept it as pre-render false. Let's try to see it. npm run build. So I am trying to run this npm run build. Let's run this one. It may take some time, so let it run. So now here the files and all those things are automatically created. So if you try to see here dist in the browser, so now here you will not able to see any pre-rendered file. Now if you want to access the same file here, so you will not able to access the same file here. So why? Because cannot able to find it. Why? Because so that means here we have kept it as a pre-rendered false. So this one pre-rendered false, it also takes as an object. Okay, it will also take it as an object. So how it will take it as an object means, so here you will be having two files, that is nothing but discover routes. So this discover routes true means that is nothing but keeping the pre-render as true only. So now if you try to do the same build option, now you will be able to see, the same build thing. So now you will be able to see the index.html and all those things, it will be built. So let's try to see. So fine. Now here if you try to observe, HTTP cache and all those things are again pre-rendered. Now if I try to make it as a false means, then if I run it this one, then it will not be rendered. So this is a long form notation of this representing the pre-render. Simply if you want to true means you can make it as a true, but remember that only the static routes like unparameterized routes only will be pre-rendered, or otherwise it will be saved as an HTML in the dist file. You are having a parameterized things, those files will not be saved. So that is one thing which you need to understand. So this npm run build. So now now here you will not able to see those things. So apart from this one, you also have another option, that is nothing but routes file. Okay, here you will be able to see a routes file. So routes file, why we will be using this one is if you want to configure, or otherwise if you want to pre-render. So if you want to pre-render only particular files, so you can use it here. Routes file, I can keep it as a routes.txt. Okay, so I am keeping this one as a false, but in the routes.txt, so I am creating a routes.txt file. So here I will create a routes.txt file. I don't want all the static files or something like that to be pre-rendered. I want only particular files means, then I can give only HTTP cache. So whatever the URL you are having HTTP cache, so those things only should be re-rendered. So that means by default the pre-render is false, but only the URLs that are present in this routes.txt file, those only should be pre-rendered. Now let's try to see whether HTTP cache will be pre-rendered or not. Let's see. So here you will be able to see the pre-rendered two static sites. So that means the home page will be automatically, it will be pre-rendered. Why? Because so other than that the page is pre-rendered. For example, let's say that I have removed this one, only the home page only should be pre-rendered means, then what you can see, only the one static route will be pre-rendered, that is nothing but the home page. So here whatever the URLs you will be mentioning it here, automatically those URLs only will be pre-rendered. So that is one thing which I want to tell you. And another one which I want to tell you is that, so that is the main thing. So here only one static route has been pre-rendered. So that is nothing but you will be able to see only the index page has been done, and you are not able to see the HTTP cache. Why? Because I haven't mentioned here in the routes.txt file. So fine. So now we can able to control or fully control this one. So for example, if you want to have a parameterized routes, like let's say that you are having like this. So product/id means these are all dynamic routes. So if you want to pre-render this dynamic route means how we can do it. So that one also we can able to do it. I will try to show you about that one. So this is all about the pre-rendering of these static files. So hope you understood about this concept. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So in the previous video, we have learned how to use the configuration objects for this pre-render thing. Now let's try to see, I will try to show you another concept also. For example, let's say that there are also build options I have shown you for the pre-render thing. So the concept what I have told you, the pre-render option, that is nothing but it will take a configuration object. When it is an object, each option can be individually configured. So that means discover routes. True means whether the builder should process the Angular routing configuration to find all and parameterize update routes and pre-render them. Default value is true, but you can mention it as a false. Routes file. So this is one of the important thing which we need to understand very clearly. So I already shown you that the path to a file that contains a list of all routes to pre-render separated by a new lines. This option is useful if you want to pre-render routes with parameterized URL. So if you want to pre-render routes with parameterized URLs means then this option we can use it. So now here what is this parameterized routes? For example, let's say that here we are having a product/id. For example, let's say that we are having product/id. This is a parameterized routes, or commonly we can say it as a dynamic routes. So this type of routes, for example, id is dynamically provided. To specify these routes, they should be listed in a text file with each route in a separate line. So now here, so if you want to route a particular URL means product/1, product/555. So like this you can pre-render them. So that means you need to provide the route file here. So now here the product/1 and also product/555 will be pre-rendered at the time of build time. Let's try to see this one practically so that you can able to understand about this build time pre-rendering concept. So now here we can also say this pre-rendering concept as a static site generation. Static site generation represents the method by which pages are rendered to static HTML files during the build process. So here let's try to understand it very carefully. So here what I would be trying to do it is, so let's go to here. So routes.txt file here we are having. So now what I want to do, so in the routes.txt file, so I want to do something like product/1. Oh, where it is going? Yeah, here products/1. Why it is going somewhere? Why it is going like this? Some problem has occurred. 1 second, wait. Fine. Now here I want to provide it as in /products. Sorry, /products. Spelling mistake. Products/1. And I want to do product/3. That's it. So now here what they have told in our thing /product/1/product/. Right. So this is in the same way I am providing it. So it should be separated by a new line. So that means enter, you need to press new line. For every route we need to provide. So now we are trying to pre-render this one. So here we will try to run npm run build. Okay. So we are running the npm run build so that we will try to see. So here we are having a discover routes. So you can keep it as a true. So not a problem. I will rerun it again. So let's try to run it. So now what it will try to do, it will try to pre-render all the static routes and also the routes that are present in this one. So here these are all dynamic routes. So only the product/1 and product/3 only it will be pre-rendered. If you try to see here in our code in this gist folder, you will be able to observe clearly. So try to observe in this server explorer in the dist folder here. Maybe here the icons and all those things, that text content maybe it's looking little bit small. So but try to understand here. So when this build is completed, so you will be able to observe it very clearly. So here you will be able to see that has been pre-rendered 4 static routes. So fine. Let's try to see here HTTP cache has been route and your home page has been route. Apart from this one, products. In this products you will be able to see 1 and 3 folder. In this one it's nothing but product/1 and also the product/3. So 3 also has been pre-rendered. Now if you try to observe carefully, let's go into our code, and here in our localhost we are not able to see this entire code, right? So let's go into this one. So let's run the server code. So here server build, if you try to run it means, so this is the URL which you need to run it. Okay, let's go into here and I will be pressing like this, and here I will use npm run, and this is the command I will try to run it. And for this one we also have another node.js server, right? So for this one I will run node-main.js file. That's it. So this is our JS file. Now API is also running, and our static file generation file is also running, and this one is for building. Now let's go here, and here now this time we need to do, instead of 4200 we need to do the 4000. So now it will come from the disk folder. So now here let's go to in this one, okay, and now here if you try to see, when I click on this product slash 3, see here we are able to see a get request has been called, and if I try to click on the product 1 and again a get request has been called. So that means it is not pre-rendered. Why? Because so when I am trying to access the product slash 3, automatically the API call it is making and it is able to get the data. So that means the dynamic data is getting what, there is no pre-render option. So here if you try to observe carefully, so now what I will try to do it is, here in our node-main, so node-main.js file, here we are able to see product title request.params.id, we are sending it. So that means when you try to observe here product slash 1, so the product space title space 1, here we are able to observe that the product spelling is mistake. So what I will try to do here, so let's go to the home page and here in our code I will try to rectify this one and I will run again the node server. I am not using the nodemon and all those things. Why? Because just it's a simple demo purpose only. So that is the reason I am not running it. Now here this is running, okay. I will try to refresh this page, okay, and here if I try to run the product 1, okay, you will be able to see, so still it is getting the updated details only. So when I am trying to access this one, still I am able to get the updated details only. But the concept is, so when you are in the home page, that means the completely JavaScript files and all those things are loaded. As I already told you in our previous video, when you are learning about the caching of the get API request. So when I try to click on another URL, automatically the HTTP things and all those things are not cached and it will try to get it from the server itself. But when this pre-rendering happens, when the user directly goes to the product slash 1, and if I try to, so here the product title is correct, right? But if I try to press enter here in this one, now here we are able to see the product title 1, this one, right? And here let's try to refresh it again. Okay, so let's try to refresh it again. Okay, so here already it has been came, so let's try to see it once again. So why it is showing this product title 3 and all those things, let's try to go here and let's run this one open live server. Let's try to see this pre-rendered, what it has been pre-rendered. Okay, product title 3. So let's try to change the node main to product title, and here I will try to change it modified. Okay, I will give the modified thing, and here I will rerun this one again. Okay, so fine, let's go into here, and what I will try to do here, so if you try to see the pre-rendered code, so it is like this only, and here I will try to access the product slash 3. So right now it needs to get it from the server, right? If you try to refresh this page, still we are able to get the product title 3 only. But if I try to go to the product slash 1, directly I am pressing it enter here, still we are able to, now we are able to get this one as product modified title. If I try to click on this one, now we are able to get the product modified title like this. Now if I refresh this page, see, but first we are able to get only the product title 3, but when we go to here and if I come here, now we are able to see the product modified title. If I refresh this page here, so we are able to see the product title 1. Now if I try to here also refresh this one, it is coming from the pre-rendered concept. So that means whenever the user lands directly into this page, means then it is trying to get the page from this page. So this is the page which is trying to get it rendered here. So this one is product slash 3, right? So here you will be able to see the product title slash 3. So this one is modified, but if I refresh this page, you will be able to see it like this. Now if you want to see the clearly, means let's try to modify this one, product slash title 3 only, right? This one, not this one. So product slash title 3, yeah, here this is the file, and here in this one let's try to check it, product title 3. So this is the save data is saving, and here I will try to do local. I will use the local. Now if I save this one, okay, I have saved this one, let's keep it like that only. And here if I try to refresh this page, so maybe it should be able to get it, maybe it is caching, I think. I will try to run it again. It is trying to get it. Okay, cannot read native element. Okay, it has been modified everything, I think, so we should not do it like that. So but I am trying to tell you the concept that, so it is trying to get it from the, let's try to open this in here, and I will do it like this only. Okay, so here let's try to close it, and if I refresh this page, maybe okay, so this one is got corrupted. So here if I try to press control 1 means, so here you'll be able to see the product title 1, and if I go here and if I try to go here, then you'll be able to see it is getting from the server. So the whole overall thing what I am trying to tell you is, when the user directly lands on that particular page means the pre-rendered URL, pre-rendered page will be rendered. But if you go normally from one page to another page through the navigation means, then you will be able to get the updated request. So this is all about the pre-render concept in the Angular 19 SSR. So you need to understand very carefully. So this is a game changer actually. So when you are having a application something like that, it should be pre-rendered very quickly means, so then you can use this pre-render concept for this one. So you should be very careful that you need to understand that the data should not be modified too often. That is the main thing. So why we need to use this pre-render then? So benefits of the pre-render you need to understand. So offers several benefits like better SEO, since search engines can easily crawl the static HTML, faster initial load times for the users, and also lower the server load since static files are served directly. So that is one thing. So it lowers the server also. And also we need to, and that is how you pre-render pages in Angular 19 using standalone components. Whether you are improving SEO or optimizing the load times, pre-rendering is it's a game changer. So that's it guys about this one. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up or a like, and subscribe for more Angular tips and also for more Angular concepts. So let me know in the comments if you would like me to cover some more advanced topics like this. See you in the next time. Thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Leela WebDev. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the Angular 19's cutting edge feature, that is nothing but hybrid rendering. So what is this hybrid rendering? Let's try to write it here. Hybrid rendering. So this is a new concept that has been introduced in Angular 19. So in the Angular SSR. So we will cover everything from the concept, step-by-step implementation in a real-world Angular project. So stick around for clear practical examples in this video. So first of all, what is a hybrid rendering? So let's try to define the hybrid rendering. So what is this hybrid rendering? Hybrid rendering combines server-side rendering, client-side rendering, and also the pre-rendering, giving developers the flexibility to optimize the performance, SEO, and also the user experience. With Angular 19's new server render APIs, you have complete control over rendering the strategies at the route level. So this is what the definition for this one. So why we use this hybrid rendering? So what is the use, why we use this one? So why we need to use this hybrid rendering? First one is the flexibility. Choose SSR for SEO heavy pages, CSR for dynamic experience, or SSG for static fast loading pages. And built-in I1A10 support. Easily localize your application. Environment agnostic. Run it on any JavaScript runtime, not just only the Node.js. So this is the thing. And also we also have an performance. Enhance the initial load times, scalability, and also the more. So this is all about the hybrid rendering. Now you may be getting it out. What is this hybrid rendering? So this one feature, new feature, has been introduced in the Angular 19. It is in developer preview right now. So what does it do is, for example, let's say that when you are having an application and you have created that application using a SSR, okay, then you can do either server side rendering, or maximum case you can do the pre-rendering concept also, which we have discussed in our earlier videos. But if you want to have a client side rendering, so that means normal application when you try to create it, so those are by default client side rendering only. If you are trying to create a project using server side rendering, means those are server side rendering. Now you are having something like a route levels, like home, about us, contact us, like this. You are having some different routes. Each route needs to be loaded in a different variety. For example, let's say that home should be loaded in a server side rendering, and contact should be loaded as a pre-rendering, and this another page should be loaded as a client side rendering. So each route level flexibility also you can set up using this hybrid rendering. So that is what they are trying to explain to you. So I will show you the real-time scenario how we can set up this hybrid rendering. For this one, what I will try to do it is, let's go to our thing and here in this one I will create a command prompt, and let's try to create the project. So for creating this type of thing, server side rendering project, what we need to do is, so you need to create ng-new --ssr, and also here you need to give another one --server routing. So this is the main thing which we need to create it. So now here ng-new --ssr server routing. Let's try to, it will take some time to create the project. Let it create, not a problem. So it will be asking you what is the project. So if, you can give the project name as Angular -server. I will try to keep it, and CSS. So it will install you some couple of packages and all those things which are necessary for the application to run. So let it install. So this is all it's creating and installing. So it will take some time depending on your internet connection and the system speed. So let it create. So here the project has been created. Let's go on to this one. So I will open the Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code, and after opening the Visual Studio Code, let's try to open the project Angular-server. So this is the project which I have created it. So now this is our project, okay, and let's try to run the server. So for running the server, what we need to do, so here npm run build, and for server side, so what you need to do, I don't remember exactly, package.json file, and here we can copy this one, okay, and here npm run, and this is the command, we will run it. That's it. So let's try to see the thing. So it will take some time. Cannot find modules. Okay, so here it hasn't built it, right? So let it build. After building it, then the dist files, everything will be available. Then it will be able to execute that one. So now it has been built. Now let's try to run this server also. Npm run like this, and the node will be listening to the local host 4000. So now it is listening. Let's open here, and here I am opening this one. So we should be able to see hello Angular server. So fine. So up to here you people know about this one. So then what is the usage of this hybrid rendering? Now in the pre-rendering concept, if you try to see in the angular.json file, so you will not able to see the pre-render option here. So you will not able to find it here. So how we can use this pre-render option and all those things is, for example, let's say that I am having two components, let's assume. So I am having ng-gc home component, and I will create another component that is nothing but contact component. Let's create the two components, and we'll create a routing for that one. So it will take some time. Let me create, and I will come back to you. So here I have created home, and I am creating another one ng-gc contact also I will create it. So two components I am creating. Let it create. So after creating this component, so what I will try to do, let's go to our app.route.is. So this is all the common thing which we will be doing. And here also what I will do, so path, if you are having an empty means, oh, what is this complete mistake, path if you are having an empty means, so here component I will be using the home component, okay. So home component, my system is too much slow, I don't know why, it is not even telling that home component. And if you are having another path like path contact means, then we need to load the component contact component. I don't know, I will let me close this one and I will come back again. So now it is working fine. So this is our path home component, and here I will be creating the path of contact, and it should open the component that is nothing but contact component, contact, where this one has been went, yeah. So these are the two components which you will be having. This is a normal thing. So now when you want to set up this one is, let's go to the app.config.ts file, and here you need to provide the router and routes and all those things is also done. So now here also if you want to have it means, so here you can show provide HTTP client. So we need to provide this HTTP client also. Let's try to provide this HTTP client here. So here I will be adding provide HTTP client, and we are using the server side means we need to use the with fetch. That's it.
So now we have completed this one also, and app.routes.ts also is completed. So now let's try to build this one. That is nothing but npm run build. You can also use the watch also, not a problem. So here I will be running this build, and here let us run this one also after building. So now here it is running. Now let's open this one, and here I will try to show you. So here if you try to see this one, let's see. Okay, so we haven't changed anything, right? Let's go to our app.component.html file, and in this one I will remove this entire thing. Let's try to have a simple concept, that is nothing but ul and li, and here I will be having an anchor link and router link I will be having. Okay, and this one will be like this, and here I can close it, and home. Okay, so this is our router link concept, so I will add that one also. So here let's say that contact. So if you are having this contact means then contact page. So these are the two things which we will be having. So just I want to show you this hybrid running. What is the concept of hybrid running? That is the main thing which you need to understand. So for this one I am trying to set up this all. So fine, let's build it again. Let's try to build it again. So now here it has been developed, and by default it is doing the pre-rendering of the two static routes. So we are having two static routes, that is nothing but home contact. It has pre-rendered this one. So okay, fine, let it re-render. And here I am running the node server also. So if you try to see it here, so if I click on this one, so now you will be able to see like home and contact. So this one is working. So we have added the router outlet also. It is working fine. So now what I will try to do it is in our home.js. So here in our home.component.ts file, just I will try to have something like let's say that http is equal to inject. I will inject the http client. Okay, I will inject the http client, and here what I will try to do it is in ng on init. Okay, in ng on init. So just I will try to make this dot http dot get of we will have a JSON placeholder, that post thing we are having it, right? So just I want to show you this one. So I will be making an HTTP call. So this is our HTTP call, and here I will try to make it like this. So fine. So this is our HTTP call. Okay, and I will try to subscribe so that it will try to do it. Okay, so this is the subscription I am doing it, and I will try to watch this one. Watch, and here I will stop the node server. So now let's try to see here whether we are able to see the same output or not. So here if I try to click on this one, so now if I go into the home, so we are able to make a post request. But if I refresh here, so as the page is pre-rendered and all those things, the post request is not getting called. But if I come to contact and if I go here, it will be called. So this is common behavior which we have seen it earlier. So now if I want to get it as in client side rendering for this one, so if I want to get the client side rendering means, then we have a separate file that is nothing but a server roads file. So this is the thing. So all the modes are pre-rendered by default. So if you don't want this one means, so here you can mention the mode. So here path empty and the render mode. So you can mention this render mode dot, I want to mention it as a client. Okay, and here you can mention it as a path. So here you can mention it as a contact, and what is the render mode you want it, then that is nothing but render mode dot server. So you can mention it as a server. So these are the two things which you can mention it. So now as this one is changes are getting detected, let's see. So error contact route does not match. What is that route we have mentioned it in our app.route.ts contact, we have mentioned it, right? Okay, it is still building. Okay, let's try to build it. So this server side routing will be a little bit slow, or either my system is slow, I don't know. So what could be the issue? So let me start again the node server. Yeah. So now if I try to show you this one, so here if you try to refresh this page, the home page itself, starting only the post is getting loaded. So why? Because this is client side render. So you may be getting doubt, how can we say that this is a client side render? Means if you try to open this page source for this one, see, you are not able to see any code. Okay, so what is that? We need to have this all the home contact, these all things you need to have it, right? So we are not able to see app-route, which is a old case only. So that is a client case. But if you try to see the contact, and if I try to open this one, so now you will be able to see contact works, that entire code you will be able to see. But whereas for the home page, So the entire thing will be is a client side mode only. So this is the thing. So that means in the app.routes.server. Where it has been gone? Yeah. So this is the file. So you can mention what type of render you want to have, client side, server side. You will be having three options. That is nothing but another one is a pre-render. Pre-render means I have already showed you in an earlier video. It automatically will save the copy of the index.html file in the dist folder. So that is thing. So you can mention which type of render you want. So both the things you want to client side render means it's a normal Angular file only. So if you want to mention it as a server side means, then if you mention this one as server side and if this one you have mentioned is a client side means, then the home page will be server side rendered and this one will be client side rendered. So I will try to show you. So it is changes are getting detected. So it is rebuilding it. Let it rebuild and it will take some time. So let it take. My system is slow, I think. Yeah. So let's see whether it will work or not. So here I will try to show you homeworks. Now the okay, still the post is getting called. Maybe that one is not cache. Still it is showing the, okay, both the things I kept it as client side or what, I didn't remember exactly what I kept it for this one. Okay, one is server, right? So let's try to stop this node also. I will try to do it. Sometimes it will happen like this, so we need to do it again. So here if I try to refresh this page, still loading, let it load. Yeah, now the post is not getting called, but if you try to open here, you will be able to see the same change. Homeworks, this one you are able to see. Whereas for the contact page, so this one is a client side render. So this is all about the hybrid rendering. So that is what I was trying to explain you. So whatever the things you are trying to do it, the routes also you need to define in the routes.server.ts, so that what type of render you want to do it, so that will be rendered. And here you will be having an app.config.server.ts file also. Both the application config and server config will be merged. So now that's it. So client side rendering means dynamic interactive offline apps, you will be using this one. So see, client side rendering execute entirely in the browser, ideal for single page websites and progressive web apps. And server side rendering means faster SEO initial loads. SSR generates HTML on the server and sends it to the client. And pre-rendering means static pages like blogs, landing pages like this you will be using. SSG generates static HTML files during the build. So this is all about the concept. So hope you understood about this one. So key benefits of this hybrid rendering is the optimized performance. I will try to explain you before closing. Optimized performance. Choose the best rendering strategy for each route. Enhanced SEO. Pre-rendered and server rendered pages boost search engine rankings. Reduce server costs. SSG minimizes the server load. So in conclusion, before closing, what I will try to do it is the closing statement. So this is the new concept available in the Angular 19 only. Hybrid rendering is a game changer for Angular developers. It gives you full control over how your app is delivered, balancing performance, scalability and user experience. Try it out and let me know your thoughts in the comments of this one. So I hope that this gives you a clear understanding about this hybrid rendering, and still some more strategies are there. I will explain you in the further video. Hope you understood about this one. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.
Hi guys, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Leela WebDev. Today we are diving into an advanced Angular topic, server side rendering with pre-rendering concept. Specifically in this video we will try to know how to handle the parameterized routes using the render mode.pre-render and configuring the fallback strategies. So let's try to learn about this one. So we already learned about this pre-rendering concept and also the app routes.server.ts file. So how to handle these all things, you have learned it. Server mode, client mode and pre-render mode, we have learned this one. Now by the end of this video, you will not only understand these concepts, but also you will see a working example in Angular 19 with Angular standard components. So first of all, let's try to understand about what is pre-rendering in Angular. Pre-rendering is a powerful feature in Angular SSR that lets you pre-generate the static HTML for specific routes during the build process. So this boosts up your app performance and also the SEO. So key concepts you need to understand about this render mode.pre-render thing. So I will try to show you. So render mode enables pre-rendering for a specific routes. So this one, when you try to use render mode.pre-render, it will try to enable for the specific routes, it will enable the pre-render. You can define this mode in your routing configuration. That is nothing but app.routes.server.ts file.
And also we have also another option. So we have seen about this one. So we have also another option that is nothing but pre-rendering the routes dynamically for parameters like post/id or product/id, whatever it may be having. This is achieved also using the get render pre-render parameters function. And also we also have a fallback strategies. So if for example if pre-render doesn't happen, means handle requests or paths that aren't pre-rendered using strategies like fallback to SSR or for fallback to client side, or none means no fallback, written a 404 for the missing paths. So you can also render it like this. So let's try to see about this working example for this one. So already we have the Angular server thing. For this one, what we need to do it is, I'll try to show you. It's a simple thing only. So let's say that we are having in our app.routes.ts file. Okay. So we are having a product. So I will be creating the product component. So let us create a product component. So the product component has been created. So here what I will try to do it is, so here we will be having a path product/id, and we need to load the component. That is nothing but product component. That's it. So now we are loading, anybody logins with the product/id. So we need to load the component, product component. Let's go to the product component.ts file, product component.ts file. So here I will try to show that nothing but is equal to inject activated. So whether this also will come or not, so it is taking too much time. Inject, let's try to get the inject thing, or otherwise you will try to add it here only. Inject, so here also it is not coming. Inject, and here you can use the inject and also the activated route. So we got the activated route here, and now what I need to do, so here in ng-on-init or anywhere you can use in such a way that this dot route dot params dot subscribe. So I will directly subscribe this one. Okay, and here we will get the params. So let's try to get the params, and here I will do console.log of params. Just I will console the params. That's it. So now this is our code. Okay. So now if you try to see, so this one we got it, and now let's see here. Here we have written app.route.ts file. Okay. So let's run the server here. So I am running the server. Let us run the server. So localhost 4000, it is hearing product/id route does not match any defined in the server routing configuration. Okay. So server routing configuration, it has not been added. So let's try to see whether we can able to get it or not. So localhost, it should be able to get it. Okay. /product/1. Let's see. So cannot get product/1. Okay. So we need to add it in the server routes also. So okay, fine. So let's try to add it here. So here we need to add product /id, and render mode will be, let's say, the server mode. Okay. So you'll add it as in server mode. So now it will be done. Let's see. So changes, it is getting added. Let's try to see changes detected, and it is building. I don't know why. So here you will be able to see the pre-render is 0 static sites. So that means routes has not been pre-rendered. So none of the routing page or none of the component has been pre-rendered. So why? Because one is server mode, another one is client mode, and the last one is the server mode only. Now if you try to check 4000/product/1, so what is the problem for this one? I don't know why it is happening. Let's try to rerun it again. Product/1, so correct only, right? Product component, and if you go to product component, and we are having this HTML and all those things, let's try to see. So this server side rendering is the main problem. So what is the problem is, so now here /product/1, what is the unable to justify console, oh, cannot match /product. So this is the problem actually. So what we will try to do it is, see here we are able to get it as a localhost 4000. Okay, id/1. In the server it is trying to do the console. slash product slash 1. So this one is correct only, right? So what could be the problem here? Let's rerun it again. Slash product slash 1. Product cannot match URL slash product slash 1. So what could be the issue here? Routes, we have used this. Now it is working fine. So now here if you try to see, so I have built it. So now here we are able to see the console ID 1, ID 2 like this, we are able to see it. And now here in our app.route.ts server.ts file, so if I make it as a client, let's try to see whether the ng on init will execute in the, what I want to say, in our browser or not. So let's try to build it. So now I have built it in the rendered in the client side. So here we are able to see the ID2, we are able to see it. So this is how, what is the concept which I want to tell you. So but now I want to pre-render some of the product IDs. So if I want to pre-render some of the product IDs means, so here you need to use the pre-render, okay. And here what do I need to do? So some of the paths I need to pre-render it. So what I can do it here is, we need to use the get pre-render params. So this is the method we need to use it. And here, so we can use the async, okay. So if you are having a promise, so this should return a promise or an array of data. So now here it should return an array of data. So here what I need to do it is, so now get pre-render params, you can return ID, and I want to pre-render some IDs like ID comma 1 and here ID colon 2. That's it. So these are the two IDs which I need to pre-render. So here you need to send it like this, return. So now after returning this one, so what we need to do, so we can have a fallback also. So we can mention the fallback for this one. So fallback, what we can do it is, so why this error is coming? Pre-render, okay, fallback for this one is pre-render fallback. So we can do, if it is not match means what we need to have. So server side you can give it. So why is this error coming still? String product colon ID render mode is pre-render mode, and we are having a return ID. Okay. So here this ID should be in the string format. So remember this one. So you should not be in the array format. So now maybe hopefully you will not able to get an error. So okay, here also some issue is there. Yeah, fine. That's it. So now this is the thing, and here we are able to see that it should return a promise from type. It should a promise means. So you can use the async. That's it. So now this one is there, like this you need to use it. So now if I try to build this data, so it is rebuilding that one. So if you rebuild it in the disk, you will be able to see only the ID 1 and 2, it will be pre-rendered. So here right now in the browser, nothing, no pre-render is there. Automatically the ID of 1 and 2 will be pre-rendered. So let it build, it is rebuilding here, and here you will be able to see the static routes has been pre-rendered, 2 routes will be, and 1 and 2 will be pre-rendered. So let's try to see that one. So it is taking some time, my system is slow. So yeah, here you will be able to see the pre-renders, two static routes has been pre-rendered, and in the browser if you try to observe in the Explorer, so in the product you will be able to see 1 and 2 has been pre-rendered. So like this, if you are having a parameterized URLs, so you can send it like this, or otherwise if you are having a post service, so let's assume that, let's close this disk, and here in our services, let's say that you are having a post service, post.service.ts file, okay. Let's assume product or post or anything, what it may be, export class post service, okay. So this is our service which we will be having, and here I can have an injectable, so which should be provided in root, or otherwise if you don't mention it also not a problem. So here I will be having, let's say that get post, okay, and this one returns something like return promise, so it should return a promise, that's why promise dot resolve of, and it returns an array of 1 comma 2 comma 3, okay, let's assume, and this is the promise it will resolve. So now what I want to do in our app.route.servers, so here I can inject the post service. So here constant post is equal to inject, I can use the inject, run in context will work here, and post service, and here I will get the IDs. So IDs constant IDs is equal to posts dot get post. So we got the IDs as 1 comma 2 comma 3, and here I can do post dot IDs dot map. Okay, so here I need to use the await, sorry, why, because this one returns the promise, right? So okay, fine, id avoid ids dot map. So I need to frame the object, right? Array of object. So here I will get each id and I will send that as an id. That's it. So now here you can frame it like this. So id means, so here ES6 syntax. So we are sending this one and I will be returning this. That's it. So now if you try to see here, it will be rebuilding and provided, okay, the post service provided in. Now automatically it will be pre-rendered. So let's try to see now 1, 2, 3. So 3 things should be here. Now here 1, 2 only has been pre-rendered. So now 3 also has to be re-rendered. Why? Because so we are getting it as a promise here. So let's try to check it. So now here in app.root.server, so we are able to get this one. So what is happening? ID is not compatible. Okay. What you can say is ID dot toString we'll see. Or otherwise we will send it as here 1, 2, 3 only. Then we can able to get it. Why unnecessary? Yeah. So now this one will be solved. So yeah, here. So you need to remember this thing. This is the important thing. So now here again it is building. So it will take some time to build. Okay, let it take. So this is the pre-rendering concept. So now we are able to pre-render some of the parameterized URL based on the logic. So it is rebuilding. Okay, let's let it rebuild. So here we are having the fallback strategy also. So if the IDs are not matching means it will go back to the fallback strategy. That is nothing but the server. So you can also have a fallback none. So it will result in a 404 error. So that is a way thing. The root dynamically. So now here it has been so 1, 2, 3 has been pre-rendered. So here if I try to show you, we will be able to see the product/2 everything we are able to see it. So those are all pre-rendered. And here also it is pre-rendered, this one. If I try to access this 4, so let's try to see whether we can able to access this one. 4 also we can able to access this one. So for example, let's say that none, we'll try to keep it. I never checked it with this one. This is all the developer preview, Angular 19 latest concept, these are all. So that's why, so we haven't, so recently on November 19th it has been released, right? So right now we are doing these all the steps one by one. So now here if I try to press 4, so we are able to get it. So fallback strategy, if this one is not found means then it will try to, okay, it is still rebuilding. So like this you will be having. So best practice is you need to use the inject synchronously. Ensure inject is called before await in get parameters, get pre-render params, and specific get pre-render params runs during the build process only. So stick to build time logic. So that's it guys about this one. So you people able to understand this concept. So now let's try to refresh this page. So it's working fine. So that's it guys about this pre-render concept, parameterizing the URL. So and there you have it. So you have learned how to use the pre-rendering with the parameterized routes and configure the callback strategies also in Angular 19. So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more advanced Angular tutorials. Let me know your thoughts or questions in the comments below. So until next time, so happy coding. So bye guys. Hi guys, this is Leela. So welcome back to my channel. Hello everyone. In this video, we will try to learn about the deep concept. We are learning about the diving deep into the server-side rendering, right? And the SSR environment in Angular, and we are learning. So in this video, we will try to learn about the special tokens provided by the Angular core package for interacting with the SSR environment. So these tokens, what it will try to do, it will try to give you the access to the critical request and response information, enabling you to enhance your server rendered Angular applications. These things. So we will explore about the 3 tokens, that is nothing but request underscore init, and also the request underscore context tokens. I will try to explain you in detail with these practical examples using Angular 19 standalone components. Let's try to dive deep into this one. So let's try to open one specific file. So here I will explain you with some simple example what are those 3 tokens. So here in Angular, actually, server-side rendering allows you to pre-render your app on the server before sending it to the browser. Angular provides 3 key tokens in the Angular core package to interact with the SSR environment. So what are those 3 key tokens? One is the request. So this gives access to the current HTTP request object. With this, you can access the headers, cookies, and also the other details also. So response underscore init. And also it enables you to set headers and status code dynamically in the server response. And here request context. So it will provide you some additional context about the current request for custom handling. And here these two, so now these 3 are the main things. So provides additional context to this one. So these tokens make it easy to create applications that rely on the server specific data during rendering. But remember, these tokens are available only in the server during SSR and will be null on the client side rendering or static side generation. So you need to understand this one. So this one is all available when it is server side rendered only, when it is doing server side render. So let's try to do a simple example. I will try to show you a simple example. So just I will explain you. So how these requests will be and all those things. Let's go to the app.component.ts file. So this is our app.component.ts file, right? So let's say that in the constructor, okay, so we will inject the request. So here in our constructor, here I am injecting the request. So here request the first token. So I will be injecting inject. Let's try to inject this one, and here I can use request. Sorry, it should be something like request. Okay, so this is the request. It should be available in the Angular core, and here inject also it should be available in the Angular core. So here I have imported the inject and also the request. This is the token available in the Angular core package. Remember that this will work only in the server side only. So now here what I will be trying to do, if request is available means, okay, then what I will try to do, I will try to console.log of request. Okay, so I will console the request here, and if it is not available means, then I will tell that something like console.log no request object available. That's it. So this is our simple thing. So I am injecting the request and I am trying to check what is the data we are getting from the request, and here I will build the code, and here I will stop it, the server. So when I am trying to build the code, so it will build, and this request, so whenever you are trying to, when the data is coming, so for example, let's say that here we are having in our app.routes.server.ts file, right? So when you are having a home page, so it is rendering through the server side, right? So when you are home page means, then you will be able to see this app.component.ts means it will execute all the time. So you will be able to see a request object. So when you are trying to go to the contact or something like that means, then you will not able to see. Why? Because it is rendering mode is client, and also this one is pre-render. Let's try to see. It is taking some time to build it. Let it build it. So now it has been built successfully. Let's try to open our code, and here in our home page and app.component.ts file. So I am refreshing this page. Now you are able to see that no request object is available. Okay, and if you go into this one, so here you will be able to see this all the request address we are able to see, right? The request object which we are able to get it, the method is going to get, and all those things we are able to get it. So here we are able to get this one. So whatever the thing you are having in the server side, so we are able to get the request object also. So in the server side you can do it, you can use this one all. Now if you try to check it here, so for example, if I go into here the request, and if I go back to the contact page, and if I come back here into this one, so we are not able to get it. But here if I try to refresh this page again, here in our what I mean to say, here in this one, so here again we are able to get this request object. See, again we are able to get this request object. So for example, let's say that the contact page, so I am in the contact page, so this one is client side re-rendered. Okay, that's why we are not able to get the request object. Now if I try to refresh this page here, so let's see whether we can able to get it or not. So here there is no option so to get it. So here this is not so the previous one only it is working. Now here if you try to check it here, so the no request object available we are able to see here in this one. So why? Because this is client side, so we are not able to see, but whereas in the server side we are able to see the request object also. So this all the request and all those things will be rendered. See, will be logged in the URL, the request and all those things when the app is rendering in the server. So here when the app is rendering in the server, so we are able to see this one. So that is what I want to explain you. So this is all about the request object. So now if you want to get all the request address and all those things, if you want to do some manipulations and all those things means, so you can do it here. So that is one thing. So this is one about the request thing, and we have another one that is nothing but response_init. So let's use this response_init to token to dynamically set the response address, update the code. So we'll update the code like this. So here we will set a custom header something like that, and the response address 200. So here for this one what we need to do, so for the same thing I will try to use the response_init. Okay, and here you will be having the response. So now you will be able to see the clear understanding for this one also. So now we are trying to set the headers. So now here if response is there means, so for example if response is there means, so here you can directly set the headers for this one, response dot headers, okay, is equal to, so just custom, and we can add our custom domain or something like that. We can add some text, yeah, here. And also if you want to set the status means, you can also set the status response dot status is equal to 200. So you can use it something like this. And here you can use something like no response object is available. These are, we are doing it for the when it is then the app is rendering in the server side. So now we are trying to send from the through the server the response address also. So the same home page if you are trying to access from the server side means, if you refresh this page, okay, sorry. So now here we need to build it, this one, sorry I forgot. So we need to build this one, let it build. So now here if I am trying to refresh this page, so you will be able to see this entire text, you are able to see it. Why? Because so we have changed the response headers. Now if you try to go here and if you check in the all and in this local host which you are trying to do it, and the response headers which we are trying to send it, so here we have sent our custom domain, and here it is sending the content type as text/plain instead of text/html. Let's try to update this one also. Let's see whether it will update it or not. So I never tried it. So these things is just I am trying to show you how you can update these all the things. So content type is equal to text/html. Okay, let's see. So I am setting these custom headers, and let's see this one. I am building again this one, and I will stop this node server. So now we have started, we have built it and we have started. So let's try to see the same output. So now if I try to check the same output, so let's try to see, now we are able to get it. Why? Because so now I have changed this response to content type to text/html, and my custom domain also we are sending this response headers. So that means when you want to send some response headers to this one also, so by using this response underscore init, you can set the headers and you can set the status and all those things also you can set it. Let's try to see that whether we can able to get this. So we need to build it and we need to check it. So just I want to explain you how this response headers and all those things from the server, if you want to change it means how you can change it. And we also have another one that is nothing but request underscore context. So this one is an same like a request token only it will be, but the difference between this request and the request underscore context is, so normally this one is different. So when you are working on devices and all those things, if you want some extra request data, so which could not be sent by the standard web API methods through the HTTP which is not sent means, so those type of things you can capture it through the request underscore context. So right now we are using only the web based thing only, so that's why we are not able to check this request underscore context. Normally I am trying to tell you that when you are trying to work in any devices or anything and you want to get any extra request headers, if any data is sending that is corresponding to the device or any application when you are trying to run it, so there if you want to use it means, so then this request underscore context will send you the additional headers and all those request data which could not be sent through the HTTP or the standard web API. So these are all the different ways of tokens which are available in the Angular server. So for checking this one, so what are these things? So before we wrap up, here are some important points to remember. So these tokens like request underscore init and also request underscore context are only available during SSR, and it will return null in the client side rendering. So that is one thing you need to understand. They enable dynamic server side behaviors like customizing header status codes and also handling request specific information. So if you want to handle request specific information means, so they will handle. Use these tools to create seamless server rendered applications. So that's it today for today's video guys. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more Angular content. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or topics you would like me to cover. So thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about the concept that is nothing but Angular hydration. So what is this hydration concept in the Angular? Not only this Angular, in React or Vue.js, everywhere you will be having this hydration concept. So what about this hydration concept? Let's try to understand it carefully. At some point in your journey, when you are trying to mastering the Angular, you may have come across the term Angular hydration. So this term, so you will be familiar, or somewhere in the recent times when you are learning about the Angular SSR, or if you want to become master of the Angular means, you will be able to listen this term Angular hydration. In brief, if I want to say, Angular hydration is the process of restoring a server-side rendered application on the client side, helping to enhance performance by eliminating the need to recreate the DOM nodes. So this is the main thing. So what is this? Angular hydration is the process of restoring a server-side rendered application on the client side. So restoring a server-side rendered application in the client side, helping to enhance the performance, eliminating the need to create the DOM nodes. So that is what I will try to explain you clearly about this one. What is this concept? While Angular hydration brings several advantages, it also comes with a certain limitations and potential challenges also. So when you are trying to use the Angular hydration, it will give you advantages also. Apart from advantages also, it will give you some limitations and potential challenges. So we will explore about this Angular hydration in detail, including its benefits, constraints, and the best practices for using it effectively in your Angular application. Let's try to understand it. So normally, what is an Angular hydration? So now we will try to have a definition about this one. Angular hydration is the process of reactivating server-side render application on the client side. So here I told you, so restoring or reactivating, something like that. So now when you are trying to use an Angular SSR, so I will try to explain you clearly. So if you are having a paint or something like that, I will try to explain you clearly where we will be using this one. Let's say that here you will be having a client. Okay, so this is the client. So now the user types, he makes a request. Okay, so he makes a request to here. So now here our server side render application will be there. So here our node servers or something like this, it will be there. It will receive the request and it will process the request, HTTP request and all those things, whatever it may, it will process the request and it will prepare the HTML for this one. Okay, it will prepare the HTML and that HTML will be sent. Here this is called as an initial HTML, let's assume. So the HTML data will be sent to the client and now here the browser, so the browser will start executing. So now what it will try to do, first it will render that initial HTML. So the HTML content will be displayed in the browser. Now it will also send you the JavaScript links also, so whatever it needs to load. So now it will try to make the request to download the JavaScript resources. So when the JavaScript resources got downloaded, so what it will try to do, so here it needs to prepare the HTML, that is nothing but an interactive to the events and all those things. So then what it will try to do, it will destroy all the DOM nodes and again it will create another HTML. It will create another HTML. Again it will create another HTML which is an interactive one. Okay, so which is an interactive one means so responding to the events like click events and all those things. So this JavaScript HTML will not respond, but here when the JavaScript loads, so JavaScript loads and it try to prepare all the DOM nodes and all those things. So the browser, what it will try to do, it will destroy all the DOM nodes and it will render the HTML with an interactive thing. So here destroying the DOM node, again creating the HTML, here it will create an UI flickering. So that means the output will go away and again the output will come. So that means immediately it will happen. So in order to prevent this scenario, so we will be using the hydration concept. Okay, what does this hydration concept will do? So the hydration concept simply does nothing. So here instead of destroying here, so when the JavaScript got downloaded, instead of destroying this all DOM nodes, okay, everything, it will try to match the DOM nodes and all those things. So whatever the things are there, it will keep the HTML like this only and it will match the DOM nodes and it will recreate those things instead of destroying and creating. So it will match those DOM nodes and it will keep it like that only. So that is the benefit of this Angular hydration. So I will try to explain you one by one. So this is the main concept in the Angular hydration, where this hydration actually is useful. So when a client makes a request, so the node server will give you the HTML and this HTML will be rendered in the browser and now the JavaScript scripts and all those things is downloaded. When the JavaScript scripts are everything is downloaded means, so it needs to attach all the events and all those things to the HTML. So whatever the events it is getting attached means, then it will try to delete all the nodes and all those things and it will recreate it. So there the UI flickering and all those things will happen, which creates which give you in the core web vitals. So core web vitals, it will give you the performance thing, first byte and all those things, largest content paint and all those things, you will get a burst behavior. So for that reason, so we will be using the Angular hydration. So let's try to see some more about this one. So here, let's go here. So here, that is what I want to explain you about the hydration concept. So Angular hydration is the process of reactivating a server-side render application on the client side. So already the server-side application is there, right? It will reactivate on the client side. So instead of destroying everything and creating a new DOM or new document, so it will reactivate that server-side application only. It involves reusing the DOM elements rendered on the server. So whatever the DOM elements that has been created on the server, preserving the application state, transferring any data already fetched by the server and other related tasks. The goal of hydration is to boost performance by reusing the existing DOM nodes. By reusing, here try to understand the important points. Hydration is to boost performance by reusing the existing DOM nodes. So whatever the DOM nodes that has been sent to the server from the server to the client. So by reusing the existing DOM, reducing the need to regenerate them. So it will reduce the need to regenerate again and preventing the UI flickers during the transition. So that is the main concept behind the Angular hydration. Imagine you have an Angular application that shows a list of blog posts. To enhance the initial load speed and SEO, you choose to implement the server-side rendering. So that's a common thing. So now, when a user visits your web page, so when a user tries to visit your web page, the server generates HTML content including the list of blog posts and sends it to the server user's browser. So here, when a user visits your web page, the node server generates HTML content including the list of blog posts, everything it will try to get and sends it to the user browser. Without hydration, what will happen? The browser would receive that server rendered HTML, display it to the user, and then replace the DOM when Angular initializes the client-side application. So when the Angular initializes the client-side application, everything will be replaced again. So this process could cause a visible UI flicker and harm performance metrics such as first input delay and also the largest contentful paint. So this one will create issue. So this will create an UI flickering thing. So with the Angular hydration, if you try to use the Angular hydration enable, instead of replacing the DOM, the client-side Angular application attempts to align the existing DOM elements with the application structure at the runtime only. So that is the main thing. It will try to match the existing DOM elements with the application structure. By reusing these DOM elements, Angular hydration helps prevent UI flickers and boosts the performance. That is the main thing. For example, let's say that the server rendered HTML structure for the blog posts looks like this. So here div h1 block title ul post 1 post 2 post like this. Let's say it looks like this. So when Angular hydration is enabled, the client-side Angular application would recognize the existing DOM structure, match it with the application structure and reuse the DOM nodes instead of recreating them. So that is the main thing. As a result, the user would not see a UI flicker and the performance of the application would be improved. So that is the main concept of this Angular hydration. To enable the Angular hydration, you need to import the provide client hydration from the Angular platform browser and add it to your application bootstrap providers list or your root app modules. If you are using a module concept means, then you need to provide it in your app.module.ts file provider list. That's it. So now what here I am trying to do it is, so the prerequisites for implementing, for using this Angular hydration means, first of all, you need to have a server-side rendering application requirement. Angular app must be enabled. So server-side rendering app must be enabled. And also follow the Angular SSR guide to set up SSR in your application. So if you don't know this SSR guide means, so you can follow that one. And the goal is ensure that your application is rendering on the server before enabling the hydration. So that means the application should be rendered on the only for the server side application only. It will be Angular hydration will be implemented, enabling the hydration. So this is the brief introduction or the brief concept of this Angular hydration. So in the next session onwards, we will try to see what are the limitations that are available in the Angular hydration and how to maintain the application. So in order to make the hydration to be enabled in that one. So let's try to understand that one in the upcoming videos. So hope you understood about this Angular hydration concept in the in this Angular SSR, how it will be used. So hope you understood about this one. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So we have learned about the basic introduction of this hydration and why this hydration is important and how we can enable this hydration. We have seen it. So in this video, we will try to see about the manual setup, how we can do the hydration and how we can check whether the hydration is enabled or not in our website. And we will see some constraints and also pros and cons of this hydration. We'll try to see in this video. So by the end of this one, so you'll be able to understand about what is an hydration concept and why we'll be using this hydration concept in the Angular. You'll be able to understand it.
So now, normally how do you enable the hydration in Angular? Hydration can be enabled for server-side rendering applications only. So this is the first important concept you need to understand. So hydration will be enabled only for the server-side applications only. So if you want to create server-side means, so you can follow my Angular SSR guide. So to enable the server-side rendering. So now, if you try to see here in our app.config.ts file. So if you try to see in our app.config.ts file, I'll try to open here. So whenever you want to have this hydration means, then you need to provide this provide client hydration. So event replay I will try to explain you in this one. So provide client hydration, you need to add this provide client hydration in the providers list. So that is one thing. Alternately, if you are using the ng modules concept means, in our app.module.ts you need to provide this provide client hydration concept in the providers. So that is the thing. Make sure that the provide client hydration call is also included into a set of providers that is used to bootstrap an application on the server. In applications with the default project structure generated by ng-new command, adding a call to the app module means would be sufficient. So normally app module would be sufficient. That's it. So now how you can check that hydration is enabled or not. So after you have configured this hydration, so now when you try to set up the server, so here we are setting up the server. So I am trying to check, let it rebuild that one. So here we need to call npm run serve ssr and the project name angular-server. So this is the project. So let's try to rebuild that one. Let it rebuild. So now here we have successfully built this one. So pre-render 3 static routes, that is nothing but some in our app.routes.server.ts we have made it, and node is running. So let's try to run the node thing. So I am opening the Chrome. I'm opening the Chrome, let it open. So now here if you try to check here, this is our home page, home and contact. And if I go to the inspect element, so we are checking that whether the hydration is enabled or not. So here if you go to the Angular and here if you try to check it, here you will be able to see hydrated like this. In your Angular DevTools you will be able to see hydrated. And if you want to check the hydration overlays means, so these are all hydrated automatically. So this is how you can check whether the hydration is enabled or not. So when you are running the application in dev mode means, you can confirm hydration is enabled by opening the developer tools in your browser and viewing the console. You should see a message that includes hydration related stats such as the number of components and nodes hydrated. So here in the console you will be able to see that Angular hydrated 2 components and 30 nodes, 0 components were skipped. So like this will be Angular calculates the stats based on all the components rendered on a page, including those that come from third-party libraries also. So you can also use the Angular DevTools here browser extension to see the hydration status of the components on a page. Angular DevTools also allows us to enable an overlay to indicate which parts of the page are hydrated and if there is an hydration mismatch error or not. So we can show, it will show, I will try to show that one. So this is thing. And now if you go to the contact, so here the contact is not hydrated. If I try to, so why? Because this contact is coming from the client side. So you need to remember that the hydration works only when the HTML is coming from the server side only. So now if I try to refresh this page, so if you are trying to refresh directly the /contact, you will be able to observe that none of the component is getting hydrated. Why? Because so maybe in our app.routes.server.file, so app.routes.server.ts file, so here we are loading the contact that should be rendered in the client side. So client side means automatically the HTML everything will be rendered in the client side only. So you need to make it as server only. For the server side render only, the what I meant to say, the hydration will be working. So here I have made it as a render mode.server and it is changes detected and it is rebuilding. So it will take some time to rebuild. So let it rebuild this one. So here running, I am running the server again. Let's try to see whether we can able to see the contact also, whether it will be hydrated or not. So if I refresh this page, it should be hydrated. So here I should be, see here I am able to see the hydrated thing in the contact also. If I click on the home, so here you are not able to see. Why? Because from next onwards the component will be rendered client side. So if I refresh this page, so now the HTML is coming from the server and it is hydrated. So this is how you can verify that the hydration is enabled or not. So next one, what I want to tell you is the next concept is, so here I want to explain you about the with event replay. So what is this event replay? So for example, let's say that when you are trying to refresh this page from the server side, you will be able to get the HTML, right? until and unless the Angular and the JavaScript and all those things modules downloading and re-rendering this HTML structure, by the time when the user tries to interact with the HTML thing means, so with event replay what it will try to do, so it will capture those events and it will keep it with it, and when the hydration is completed, and then these all click events and all those things, whatever the events that has been filed, it will be filed. So when an application is rendered on the server, it is visible on the browser as soon as the server HTML loads. Users may assume that they can interact with the page, but event listeners are not attached to it still. Why? Because that until hydration is completed, then only it will be event listeners will be attached. So starting from version 18 onwards, so the Angular version 18 onwards, you can enable the event replay feature that allows to capture all the events that happened before hydration and replay those events once hydration has been completed. So that is the reason we will be using this with event replay. So that means, so whenever any event listeners that has been a user filed means, so those all the things will be filed once the hydration will be completed. So that's why we will be using this with event replay. So that is the main concept why we will be using this event replay. So this is all about the concept of the things, and we are having some constraints. So I want to explain you about the constraints also. So what is those constraints and how we can overcome those constraints and all those things, I will try to explain you in the upcoming video, in the next video. So this is all about how we can check the hydration concept. So what we have did it, so you need to, first of all, you need to understand that the hydration will be worked only for the routes which is having a render mode.server. So other than the server applications like pre-render or client means the hydration will not be there. And for hydration to be enabled, the Angular application should be server side rendered, not normal client side rendered. So the client application, so it should be enabled server side only. Then only the hydration will work. And in the app.config.ts, if you want your hydration to be enabled means, so you need to provide this provide client hydration in the providers, then only it will work. And also with event replay also I have told you that once the hydration is enabled means, first the server render HTML will be displayed on the browser. Until and unless hydration is completed, what will happen? Then afterwards the HTML will be re-rendered when the hydration is completed. So by the time the user interacts with the DOM means, so those all event listeners will be captured and it will be replayed. Those all events will be replayed again once the hydration is completed. So that's why we'll be using this with event replay. So this is all, and also I have shown you how we can check that whether hydration is enabled or not, and for which components that hydration has been applied. Those are all the things you can check it in the dev tools, and also in the console also you will be able to see that console, that how many components has been hydrated and all those things also you'll be able to see the message. So that's it guys about this hydration concept, how we can check and how we can do it. In the next video I will try to tell you what are the constraints and the cons, what are the precautions you need to do in order to have this hydration enabled. I will try to explain you in the upcoming video. Hope you understood about this hydration concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about some constraints that needs to be remembered. So when you are trying to implement the hydration concept in the Angular. So normally the hydration concept I told you, right? So if you try to observe carefully, if you didn't watch my previous videos, I will try to explain you briefly about this one so that we can understand about the constraints or the problems that needs to be remembered when you are trying to implement the hydration concept. So I told you that when a client is there here, okay, when a user or browser, let's say that browser here, this is the browser, okay. So I don't have a proper tools to show you this one. So browser required for the Node.js server or anything for the GET request. It has made a GET request for a particular route like home page, let's say assume. So it has made a request, and here the Node.js will execute the things, make an API request and all those things to the outside, and it will give you, and it will prepare the HTML and it will send you the initial HTML to this one, okay, and initial HTML and the JavaScript modules and all those things. So here in the browser it will render the HTML, okay, in the browser the HTML will be rendered here. So that means the user will able to see some output, but the event listeners and all those things are not attached. Why? Because still the JavaScript modules or the JavaScript files are not yet downloaded. Again the browser will send a request to get the JavaScript files, and the JavaScript files will be received to the browser, and it will start rendering the HTML, or it will start attaching the event listeners to the HTML. Now what it will try to do it is, for attaching the event listeners normally without hydration, it will delete this all HTML, destroy the HTML or the DOM nodes, and it will again create the DOM nodes. and attach the event listeners to all those things. So this will cause in UA flicker, and it will cause the visual, what I can say is core web vitals will be performance will be decreased. So because of that reason, so we will be using the hydration, so that when the browser, instead of destroying the DOM nodes, it will try to reuse the DOM nodes without destroying it, and it will attach the event listeners to this one. So this is the complete concept of the hydration concept in Angular. So now here what will happen is, so here while reusing the DOM nodes and all those things with the hydration, so some constraints need to be followed. So that is the main thing which I want to discuss with you. Hydration imposes a few constraints on your application that are not present without hydration enabled. So your application must have a same generated DOM structure on both the server and the client. So that means when the server sends you the HTML to here, so when the server sends you the HTML should be same, and also when the JavaScript has been downloaded from in the client side, and the HTML generated by the JavaScript also should be same. The process of hydration expects the DOM tree to have the same structure in both the places. This also includes white spaces and comment nodes that Angular produces during the render on the server. Those white spaces and nodes must be present in the HTML generated by the server rendering process. That is the main thing. So that means the HTML produced by the server side rendering operation must not be altered between the server and the client. If there is a mismatch between the server and the client DOM tree structures, means the hydration process will encounter problems attempting to match up what was expected to what is actually present in the DOM. Components that do direct DOM manipulation using native DOM APIs are the most common culprit for this one. Not only the direct DOM manipulation, so something like some other also, it will affect you the hybrid. So here what I am trying to tell you is, so if I try to open the Notepad++, okay, so I will try to show you simple example for this one. So what are the conflicts that you need to understand? So first one is the direct DOM manipulation. Okay, so here I will try to show you. So if you have a components that manipulate the DOM using native DOM APIs like document.getElementById like that, or use inner HTML or outer HTML like document.getElementById.inner HTML like that, the hydration process will encounter errors. Specific cases where DOM manipulation is a problem are situations like accessing the document, querying for specific elements, and injecting the additional nodes using append child. So like detaching the DOM nodes and moving them to other location will also result in the errors. So these are all the concepts which you need to understand. So when you are trying to do some DOM document like that, means then the hydration errors will occur. This is because why it will happen, why this one will happen is, this is because Angular is unaware of these DOM changes and cannot resolve them during the hydration process. Angular will expect a certain structure, but it will encounter a different structure when attempting to hydrate. This mismatch will result in hydration failure and throw a DOM mismatch error. So that is one thing which you need to consider. So that means you should not use the document.getElementById. This type of direct DOM manipulations, you should not use it in your project. And also another one is a valid HTML structure. So you should have a valid HTML structure. For example, let's say that let's say you are having an app.component.html file, and here let's say that you are having a table. So table, here I will be using a table, and here I am having a tr. Okay, I am having a td hi. Okay, so just I am using a table. So now here this is not a valid according to the HTML standards. Why? Because the table should have a t body. So we are adding that body without having a t body. So now here if you try to build it and if you try to run the server, then you will be able to see the issue. I will try to show you. So like table without a t body, div inside a p, anchor link inside an h1, and also anchor link inside another anchor link. So these are all not a valid HTML structure. So this could result in a DOM mismatch error during the hydration. So that is the thing. So if you are not certain whether your HTML is valid or not, means so you have a syntax validator, W3 syntax validator. You can check it in the Google and you can check the paste the HTML and you can check it there. So preserve white space configuration also. So when using the hydration feature, so we recommend using the default setting to false in the tsconfig.app.json file. So we need to keep it by false. So no changes are required. If you keep it true, means then it may encounter issues with the hydration. That is also one concept which you need to understand it. So I will try to show you this one. So what are the common concept what we need to do in order to overcome this type of issue means, then we need to use the ng skip hydration. I will try to explain you that concept also. So now here it has been successfully rendered. Now here I will write run npm run serve, it's an SSR, and also you need to run angular-server, that's it. So now let's try to check the output for this one. I am trying to check it. So if you try to see the output for this one, so here I am going to the home page and I will refresh this page. Let's see whether we can able to see the hydration error or not. So we have detect, okay, we need to run it in dev mode. So npm run watch, so build means it will try to download, install it in a production mode. Let's try to build it in the dev mode. So it has been installed. So now let's try to check it. Here if I run this one, let's see, still it is running. So I think we need to restart this node server. So this SSR means this is the problem actually. Okay, fine, let's try to build it again. So now we are able to see this one, but here we have seen expected DOM and this all at this location, at this location. So now we got an hydration issue, and here if you are trying to see, so we got the all the hydration. Angular expected this DOM at this location to fix this problem, hydration related issue. So like this you will be able to get it. So now if you are not able to overcome this type of issue, and if you want to stop this one means, then what we need to do is we can use the ng skip hydration. So for this one what we can do it is, so here, so you can add for this one ng skip. So we will be having ng skip hydration, or otherwise let's say that this table is there in the instead of having in the app component, let's say that home component.html file we are having it. Okay, so instead of having this in the home component.html file we are having it. So now it is rebuilding in this one. So now if you want to remove this type of hydration related issues, then what you can do it is one method is, so here you can go into your ts file, okay, and here you can add something like host. Okay, so we will be having this host, and in this one, so we will be having some methods like ng skip hydration. So actually this one is changes detecting, let it detect. So we need to add to the component like ng skip hydration to true. So if you add like this, so automatically what will happen is, so now if it is rebuilding it, so now this file automatically it will be skipped from the hydration. So now here you will be able to see app.component.html is there. So here we are having a table which is an invalid HTML structure. So let's try to see it. So for this one the changes are detecting, let it detect. So here it has been run. So now here let's try to check it, the angular-server, and in this one if I try to refresh this page, so here you will be able to see the same issue. Still we are getting it. I think I have removed this ng skip hydration, right? Yeah, now it has been removed from the hydration. Now if you go to the Angular, app-home has been removed from the hydration. So this is how, if you are encountering some issues for the temporary working environment, so you can use this host temporary like this, or otherwise if you are having a component app-home means, then also you can use ng skip hydration directive like that also you can use it. That's not a problem. So if you are having something like app-example means, so right now we don't have any component, I don't want to create. So like this also you can add ng skip hydration. So like this also you can add it, or otherwise in the component level also you can use host ng skip hydration to true. So this is how we will be skipping. So ng skip hydration attribute will force Angular to skip hydrating the entire component and its children also. Using this attribute means that the component will behave as if hydration is not enabled, meaning it will destroy and re-render itself. So here for this HTML will be destroyed and re-render itself. So that is one thing. So the ng skip attribute can only be used on a component host nodes. Angular throws an error if this attribute is added to other nodes. Keep in mind that adding the ng skip hydration attribute to your root application component would effectively disable hydration for your entire application. Be careful and thoughtful about using this attribute. It is intended as a last resort workaround only. Components that break hydration should be considered bugs that need to be fixed. So here it is breaking means, so maximum you need to try to resolve this issue only instead of keeping this ng skip hydration. So this is the last option which you need to take care. Why? Because the entire HTML will be destroyed and again re-rendered. So this will create some performance issue. So normally I188 support, the internalization support is also not available in the hydration. So if your application is using the internalization concept, means it is not supported, but in Angular 19 it has been given and it is currently in the developer preview. So if you want, means then you need to go to the app.config.ts file, and here you need to use the with I181 support. So you need to use this I181 support. So that is also one thing. And third party libraries with DOM manipulations also you need to check here. There will be a number of third party libraries that depend on the DOM manipulation to be able to render something like D3 charts, high charts like this. So these libraries worked without hydration, but they may cause DOM mismatch errors when hydration is enabled. So for now, if you encounter DOM mismatch errors and all those things, means, so according to the Angular 19, so you can add the ngskip hydration attributes to the component that renders with that library. So that's it guys about this one. So this is all about the hydration concept that is available in the Angular 19. So in the next video, we will try to learn about the incremental hydration also. So by that we can close the server side concept. So hope you understood about this Angular hydration thing, constraints. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So we are learning about the Angular SSR hydration concept. The hydration concept is completed. So right now we need to learn about the incremental hydration. So before learning of this incremental hydration, actually I have forgot to explain you one concept, that is nothing but deferred loading in the templates. So what is this deferred loading with the @defer thing? So the incremental hydration works with this @defer only. So that's why I want to explain you the concept about this defer, and then afterwards we will jump back again to the incremental hydration. So what is deferred loading with the @defer? The deferred loading allows you to, I will try to copy this one so that you can able to understand very quickly. So here I will close these all the components, and here I will try to, so the deferred loading allows you to optimize performance, optimize application performance by postponing the loading of components, directives and pipes until they are needed. These approaches reduce the initial bundle size and improves metrics like largest contentful paint and also the time to the first byte. So this is the main thing. So why we use this @defer block, you can be able to see. So that is nothing but, so we will be using the defer block. You can delay loading of non-critical resources and specify content to display during various loading states like placeholder loading or error. I'll try to show you how to use this defer. So for example, let's say that we are having a large component. So I will try to create ngGC large component. Let's say assume that we are having a large component and we need to load this large component. So let us try to load this large component. So now if you try to see it here, so this is a new application, so which I have started, Angular-defer. So just I am trying to show you. This one is not a server side application, this is a client side application only. And afterwards we'll jump back to the incremental hydration. So first of all, we'll try to understand about this defer concept. So let us load this one. So it will take some time to load. So fine. So here the large component has been loaded. So here this is the large component, and this is our TS file, and also here I will be using the large component.html file. Fine. So now this is our TS file, and now let's say that in our app.component.html file, let's assume that we are having some component loading. This is the component app. And at the bottom somewhere you will be having app-large-component. Okay, so this is our component, and here we will be adding this one. And now if you try to check this one, npm start, and I will be trying to check for you. Let us try to check it. So now here the page has been loaded. Let's try to see it. And if I try to refresh this page, so here you will be able to see the component app, and also the large component is also working. Let's assume that, so this is fine. So now here we are loading the large component, right? Let's assume that this one is a small component, so that's why we are not able to see any performance delay or something like that. So if you try to see here, the JS files also, it's getting loaded, which are is needed. Client polyfills and main.js, these are all the files is loaded. So these are all normal platform browsers and all those things, these are getting loaded. So fine. So now we are able to understand this one all. So this is a chunk file which is getting loaded. Okay. So these are all normal files which are getting loaded. Now for example, let's say that, okay, so this one is a 3G, it is in 3G, no throttling, we'll try to keep it. Yeah, so these are all the files which are getting loaded. Fine. So now what I want to do it is, so for example, let's say that I want this large component works, so to be loaded after rendering of this entire application. So then what we can do it is, here in our app.component HTML for whichever the component you want to load it. So you will be using differ, and here you can use something like this. That's it. So now the app-large-component and its dependencies are loaded only when the specified trigger occurs. That means default browser idle state. So here this one will have when the browser is in the idle state. So now this component will be loaded. Now if you try to check it here, so if you try to refresh this page, so a extra chunk file will be created for this one. So you will be able to see an extra chunk file for this one. Okay, and this chunk file will be created for this. See, the type is equal large component, and this one is be loaded. So this is how normally the differ thing will work. So that means nothing but lazy loading of the component. You can simply say it as lazy loading of the component. So if you want to load the component lazily means, so then it will minimize the bundle size so that this app-large-component will be loaded in a separate chunk or separate JS file, so that the bundle size will be minimized. So not only this one, for example, let's say that this one is a large component, and by the time when this component is getting loaded, if you want to add a placeholder or something like that, means before the deferred content loads, you can display the placeholder content using the @placeholder. So for this one, you can add it something like placeholder, like this placeholder, and here you can add it some data you can use it, something like please wait. Okay, div loading please wait. So until this component gets loaded, so this placeholder will be coming. So when the initial rendering happens. So now here if you try to refresh, so here you will be able to see loading please wait, and then afterwards large component occurs. And also you can also set the minimum display time for the placeholder also to avoid the flickering. So immediately something like that you can also add the minimum time. So that is nothing but minimum 500 milliseconds. You can add it like this also, you can add it, it's not a problem. So now if I try to show you for this, so you will be able to see that minimum 500 milliseconds it has been added. So here the placeholder remains visible for at least 500 milliseconds before being replaced by the deferred content. So we can also you can also use the another block, that is nothing but loading block, to specify the content that appears while deferred dependencies are being fetched. So that means when the main content is loading, placeholder will be displayed. So when this component is getting loaded, then you can also show some other content, something like here you can use fetching content. So here I can use something like in between this one, so anywhere you can use it. So here @loading, and here I can use something like div fetching content. So when it is trying to fetch the content after successfully when it is trying to load the component, so then this fetching component will work. Now if I try to show you the output, so here you will be able to see first the loading will come, then afterwards fetching will come, then afterwards large component will come. So if I try to show you in the slow 4G, then you will be able to observe, I think. So first loading will come, then fetching content, then large component. So like this. So first the placeholder appears first. Once loading begins, the loading content replaces the placeholder. So you can also add the timing parameters for this loading also. So that is also one other thing. You can also add the timing parameters also. So you can control how long the loading state appears. First one is minimum and after. So minimum means ensures the loading content is shown for a minimum duration, and after means waits for a separate specified time after being showing the loading content. So that means what I can say it is, so here for this loading, it should be load after 100 milliseconds, and it should wait minimum 1 second. Okay, it should be minimum 1 second. So it should be loaded after what I can say is 100 milliseconds, after 100 milliseconds, and it should be 1 second, minimum 1 second. That's it. So you can also use the placeholder, or otherwise not needed. So here if I try to show you, see fetching content you will be having. So immediately you will be able to see. So large you will be able to see the loading please wait, and then afterwards fetching content, like that you will be able to see. So the loading block appears 100 milliseconds after the loading starts. It remains visible for at least 1 second. See, so that is one thing. Not only this one, you can also handle the errors also. If the deferred loading fails, means you can display an error message using the error block. So that means nothing but what you can do it is, so here you can use @error, and here you can use p tag failed to load component or content. Okay, please try again later. That's it. So now you can use like this also. So if app and large and component fails to load means then the error block is displayed. So you can also, so now by combining all these things it will look like something like this. So you will be using the differ, placeholder and also loader and also the error. So this is how you will be using. So now triggers also there for this differ loading. By default deferred content loads when the browser becomes idle. However, you can specify custom triggers like user interaction or conditions also we can do it. So I will try to show you that one when we are trying to work on the triggers thing. In the next video I will explain you. So this is all about the things, and to ensure successful differ loading, dependencies, components, directives, pipes inside the differ block must be standalone. So that is one thing. So whatever the component you are trying to do, the directives and the pipes, everything whatever you are using inside this component, all must be standalone. Dependencies should not be referenced outside the differ block in the same file. And also another and that is all about this one. So this approaches optimize the performance and provides a smooth user experience. So that's it guys about this differ concept basic thing. So hope you understood about this differ thing. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about the trigger types in the differ block. So normal differ we have seen, and also the different types of blocks also we have seen, like placeholder, loading, error, differ and all those things we have seen it. Now in the differ we will be having the trigger types also. So when we need to trigger this differ also we will be writing to it. Normally the default one is the idle case. So that means when the browser is idle, it will try to load the differ thing. Normally we can also use some special situations in a such a way that when we need to load the differ block. So let's try to understand one by one. Before entering into this one, let's try to understand clearly what is a differ. So previously, normally the differ block, what it will try to do, it allows you to load and display content lazily in the Angular. So normally when you are trying to load the app means all the components present in the tab, everything will be loaded on the page itself. But if you want some components which are not available, should be available immediately, should be loaded lazily means, then we will be using the differ block for those type of components. While waiting for the content to load, a placeholder can be displayed. So now you are not able to see that component in that one. So now you can show some placeholder, something like loading, please wait, or getting the component details. Like that you can show a placeholder also. So what is the benefit of this one is this improves the app performance and user experience by delaying the heavy content rendering until specific conditions are met. And also the initial bundle size also will be decreased by using this differ block for heavy rendering content for these components. The differ block is triggered by conditions specified in two ways. So one is on, specifies conditions like ideal, viewport, interaction, etc., which determines when the block is loaded. And also we can have another one is when also, the trigger types. A custom conditional expression that determines when to load the block. So these two ways which we can determine when to load this differ block, when to trigger this differ block, we can do it. First we'll try to see the on scenarios, what else we can do it. So the key triggers for the differ is, first one is the idle trigger. So this is the common thing which you can able to see. So it will load the content when the browser is idle using the idle callback API. So using the request idle callback API, it will try to load the differ block when it is idle. So this is the default case. If you don't mention it also, it's okay, fine. But if you want to mention it means, so here you need to use on idle. So that means when the browser has a spare time or when the browser is idle means, then it will try to load the differ block. Until and unless if the browser is busy in rendering other initial components means, it will not load the differ block. So until then the placeholder will be displayed. So if you try to see here the output for this one, so if I refresh this page, immediately the loading symbol is coming, that is nothing but the differ block, and immediately the large component is loaded. So this is one first case which you can do it. And another case is the viewport. Okay, so we can also use the viewport. Okay, viewport. So this is another thing which is viewport, which we will be able to see. So loads the content when the placeholder or another specified element enters into the viewport. So what is the concept for this one? So if I try to refresh this page, right now it is already in the viewport, you are able to see it. For example, let's say that in our large component.html file, this is our large component.html file, and in this TS I am using the ng on in it, and for this one in our style.css file, so we are having width 100 pixel, 300 pixel for the class A. So automatically for this one I will apply this class A. Okay, and now if you try to see here, so this one will have the like this. Okay, so now I will add the same components multiple times. So here this div block, I will add it multiple times. So 2, 3,
4. So whenever this large component is loaded in ng on init, you will be able to see that large component has been loaded. So according to this one, normally 4 times it needs to load the component. 4 times ng on it needs to come. So if you try to see here, only the one large component has been loaded. So that means the down which we are having 4 components, 3 components, remaining 3 components are not loaded. So when it enters into the viewport, so when you scroll down, see this one has entered into the viewport and immediately the large component has been loaded. And if you come down, see here another large component has been loaded. If you come here, see the another one also has been loaded. So like this, you will be able to see the viewport whenever the component enters into the viewport, the differ block will load it. So this is one scenario which you can able to use it on viewport. So the example which we have used it watches the placeholder visibility in the viewport, and whenever the visibility port comes, it will try to load it. So not only this one, you can also have some trigger element, something like I will not show the output example for this one. So let's say that you are having a div, and here for this one you are having a trigger element. Let's say zoom. Okay, whenever this div comes into the viewport, I need to load this differ component. So then what you can do? So here this component directly you can use it, and here you can use in this one directly like this. So that means whenever the trigger element comes, this one is visible on the viewport, then it will load it. So that is the main thing. So this is also one case which you can able to understand. So these are the 2 scenarios where the viewport trigger will work. And another one is the interaction trigger. So load component whenever, so I will try to remove this one all. So I will keep it only one differ only. Yeah, here this is our one thing. And loads component when the user interacts. So here you can use differ on interaction. So this one means when the user interacts with this placeholder or anything, means then only it will be loaded. If you try to see here, so now this time this is loading please wait is there. When I click on this loading please wait, then the large component loaded. So whenever the user interacts, then only it will be loaded. So that is one thing. And another one is on hover. So on hover is also very simple. You can able to understand very easily. On hover. Okay, when you are trying to see on hover. So whenever you hover on the differ block, automatically that will be loaded. So let's try to see it. So here when I hover here, automatically it got loaded. So that is one thing. And the another one is immediate. Immediate means nothing but, so immediately it will be triggered. So it will not wait for the browser idle time. So it will be loaded right after other content on the page has been rendered. So immediately it will try to render it. So that is another concept. So now another one which we can have it is the timer. So this timer also you will be able to understand it very easily. So after 2000 milliseconds it needs to be loaded, means the placeholder is shown for 2 seconds before the large component is loaded. So if you try to see here, it will be, so then afterwards it will be loaded. So another condition which you will be having is the when condition. So here you can have a when condition, that is nothing but, so now here you are having a when condition, and here you can use show large component. Okay, show large component, and this is a variable which you can use it in your component app component.ts file, and here you can make it as in false, then it will not show. Okay, large component loads only when the show large component evaluates to true. So now here if you try to see the output for this one, so still it will show the loading please wait like that only, but when we convert it this way variable into, maybe here we can be able to do it. So here we are not able to do it, or what? Yeah, so when I try to make this one as true, immediately the large component has been loaded. So like this, so whenever a property is there, then you can able to do it. So we can also add multiple concepts also, prefetching data with the triggers. So you can specify a prefetch condition to load the JavaScript associated with the differ block before the main trigger activates. This reduces load time when the trigger condition is met. So here what it is, the JavaScript for the large component is preloaded when the browser is idle. The large component is displayed only when the user interacts with the placeholder. So for example, let's say that here in our app.component.html, here I can use a situation in such a way that on interaction only it should be loaded, but whatever the JavaScript it is there for this one, so it should be loaded whenever the browser is idle. So that means the JavaScript chunk will be loaded directly, but it will wait for the what I mean to say, the component to be loaded. So that is one thing. So this is also another thing. So whenever on interaction only it will be loaded. So this is also one thing. JavaScript the chunk file which is responsible for that one, it will be loaded whenever the browser is in idle, and normally So here it will be loading and the chunk file will be loaded on each interaction, so something like that. If I go an interaction like this, then only the browser, then only the component will be loaded. So this is all the different trigger types that are available in the differ block. The differ block is a powerful tool. In the conclusion, what I want to tell you is the differ block is a powerful tool for lazy loading in the Angular, improving the performance by delaying the content rendering based on the user interaction, viewport, visibility, or other conditions which we have seen all the different types. By combining triggers with placeholders and prefetching, you can create highly efficient and also the responsive applications. So this is all about the differ block, and let's move back to our hydration concept. So I will be explaining about the incremental hydration concept. So hope you understood about this concept. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will see how we can test the differ blocks using the testbed API, particularly in the manual control mode. We'll try to see. So normally you know about this differ thing. Differ is an Angular feature used to define the lazy rendered sections of a template. It supports multiple states like placeholder, loading, and also the final content. So we have already seen about this one: placeholder, loading, error, and also the final content. Final content means render once the work is completed. So for testing these blocks, by default the differ behaves like it would be in a live application. Example, progressing through the states automatically. You can switch to manual behavior using the testbed configuration, allowing you to manually trigger the specific states like placeholder, loading, template, like that. We can switch these things manually also. So first of all, let's go to the spec.ts file. So here we have created our testbed configuration file. So this configuration tells Angular to start differ blocks in the manual code. So here you can use something like here you can say differ block behavior. You can use differ block behavior dot manual. Okay, so this one will tell you that the differ blocks should behave in a manual mode, so they don't progress automatically. Okay, so that is one thing. And if you want to know about this one means, so you can follow that Angular development docs, so that you can be able to understand about these things. So now we need to define the test component. Here is a simple component, so which we are having it, app.component.html, we are having it. So it renders a large component lazily with a placeholder and also a loading state. Let's try to implement this one. So now we have created a component, that is nothing but using the test bed. So now let's try to go to the component fixture. So here I will be creating in a such a way that what I would be trying to tell you is, so let's go here and let's here add the test case. So it should render the differ block in different states, something like this. Now here you will be having async, and here I can do it like this. The first one is, so what we need to do, so we need to configure the testing module. So that one we already configured at the top in the before each. So here before each we have already configured testing module. So now we need to get the component fixture. Okay, so let's try to get the component fixture. Component or otherwise fixture, we will try to use it. Fixture is equal to testbed dot create component of, and you need to provide and you need to what you do, you need to give the component, that is nothing but app component. So we got the component. Now let's try to get the differ block. So in order to get the differ block, so here you need to get constant differ block fixture is equal to, so here you need to get await component, sorry, fixture dot differ get differ blocks, and here you will be getting all the differ blocks. In that one I need to capture only 0. So here we can use it as in something like this one. So here it will give you an array of all the things. I am taking only the first one. So we got the differ blocks. Okay, so now what I need to do, let's console the differ blocks here. console.log of differ block fixture. So if you want to test it means, so here we can test it something like npm test. So So let's try to check it whether we can able to test it or not. Here you are able to see some component fixture console and all those things. So okay, so let's remove this one, all console. So let's try to see whether the fixture is working fine or not. So we got the fixture. So now what I need to do? So first of all, when this fixture is loaded, so what it will try to do? So it will try to show you the placeholder. So expect component, fixture dot native element dot inner HTML. Okay, sorry, this is component dot inner HTML, native element fixture dot. So you will be having something like inner. So why it is not coming? Native element expect component inner HTML fixture dot inner HTML dot to contain. So it should contain placeholder what it is trying to load. So here it is trying to loading, please like this, loading, please wait. So let's go to the spec.ts, and here I will be showing this one. So this one only placeholder, yeah. So I will be showing this one. So nice. So let's try to see whether we can able to get the issue without any problem or not. So now here we are able to see an issue without any issue. So here we should be able to see the spec list should render differ block failures undefined to contain. Okay, so here what we need to do, so what it is happening here, so verify the initial placeholder, so it is containing or not. So it should be able to have this one. It is success. Let's see. Oh, sorry. App component should differ the block in different states. Okay, it should be manually done. So here what we can expect, something like await differ block fixture dot render. Let's try to see render of differ block state dot placeholder. So we are applying the placeholder. Now let's try to see. So we are trying to render the placeholder, and still we are able to see something problem occurred. Differ block in different states, expected undefined to contain loading, please wait. Fixture dot. So fine, it is working fine now. So if you try to check it here, expect native element .html to contain loading, please wait. So that means I am trying to check the placeholders at the first time it is loading or not. So that is nothing but this placeholder I am trying to check it. And if you try to test it here, so you will be able to see that the test has been passed. So if you want to check it, means I will add 2 dots here, so that we can able to see that whether it has been success or not. Let's try to see. If you see in this one, it should become fail. Yeah, here you will be able to see that it is expecting loading 4 dash, but here it is getting only loading 3 dash only. If you try to check it here also, so here we are having loading 3 dots, please wait, but we are getting it as loading 4 dots, please wait. So that means our placeholder is getting loaded. So now, sorry, now this one got success. So what we need to do, so placeholder is getting loaded. So next one what we need to do, it is we need to convert this one differ to the loading state. So we need to move this, switch this state to the loading state. So how we can move it? So here we need to use differ. So await differ block fixture dot render. We have a method render, and you will be having the states, that is nothing but differ block state dot. So which state you want to move it? So I want to move it to the loading state. So then here I can check it. So again, expect fixture dot native element dot, and here you can use again inner HTML, okay, dot to contain. So I am checking whether it may be containing, and here you need to use dot to contain, and here I will use the loading state as fetching content. Okay, so this is the fetching content. I will try to check it. Here I will be using the fetching content. That's it. So now if you try to check it, the output, so here we will be able to see the differ block is again got success. So if I try to add 4 dots or something like that, so extra space is there, right? Okay, no space. So if I add 4 dots, then again it would be fail. Why? Because it would be expecting something like fetching content with 3 dots only, but we got it as 4 dots. So it is trying to exactly match that one. So now we got the loading state also. Now we need to check whether the component is loading or not. So for this one, what we can do, await differ block fixture dot render of differ block state dot complete. So I am trying to complete this one. Then I need to check it in such a way that expect fixture dot native element dot inner HTML is equal dot to contain. Okay. So here we can check in such a way that this HTML document directly I can copy this one in the spec.ts file. We can check it here like this. That's it, finish. So now this one is also completed. Now if I try to check it here, the output, then this one also will be passed. So large component also is getting loaded. If you want to check the error, means the same thing. So here you can check it, the error. So you need to convert it into an error phase, and here we need to check it that whether this error document is getting loaded or not. For the time being, you will be getting an error here. So here I need to check whether it contains this message or not. So now here, so this one got error and now it will be passed. So in this way we will be checking the differ block element. So here, so what we have did, the different stages, the differ blocks can be managed in test using get differ blocks. Here we get the first and only differ block in component A, and the differ block lets us manually control the differ block states. So here we have tested the placeholder. When a differ block is created, it starts a placeholder, it configured manually whether the DOM contains placeholder or not. Then it is we are using the complete stage, and also we are using the loading state. So this is how we will be testing it actually. So manual behavior configuration. So differ block manual prevents automatic state transition. Differ block fixture get differ blocks provides access to the differ block, enabling manual transition. State transitions means so default placeholder it will be. So manual means use your render thing, differ block state dot like this. You can use it wherever whatever you want the preferred state, like loading, complete, or something like that. So use expect to verify the DOM content for each site. So that's it guys about this testing of these differ blocks. Hope you understood about this concept. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.
Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about the new concept that is been introduced in only Angular 19 onwards, and which is also in developer preview. That is nothing but incremental hydration. Now we have learned about the full hydration, we have seen it. So the latest one has been introduced in the Angular 19, that is nothing but incremental hydration. What is the meaning of this incremental hydration? Let's try to see. So what is it? So what is it means? What is incremental hydration? Incremental hydration is a performance optimization technique in the Angular. So it is a performance optimization technique. So it builds on full application hydration. So that means the full application server-side render application is there. So it builds on the full application hydration, which means that instead of hydrating the entire application at once. So normally we have seen the application has been fully hydrated application we have seen. Instead of hydrating the full application at once, it does so incrementally or piece by piece. So that is the main concept of this incremental hydration. So it will be done by entire application instead of having entire application at once, it will done piece by piece hydration. So why is it useful? So then doing part by part hydration, why is it useful? So first one is the smaller initial bundles. Reduces the size of the JavaScript bundles that are initially sent to the browser. So it will reduce the size of the JavaScript bundles that are initially sent to the browser. This decreases the initial page load time, which is crucial for performance. That is one thing. And also improved performance metrics. So first input delay measures the time from when a user interacts with the site. Example, clicks a button to when the browser responds. Smaller bundles mean quicker interaction. So first input delay also it will improve it. So this all comes on the core web vitals actually, your website if you want to check it. Cumulative layout shift. The layout shift is also one of the important factor which you need to consider when you are doing the website design. Measures unexpected layout shifts. Incremental hydration helps avoid these shifts, especially with the differable views. So we have learned about this differ concept. Full application hydration. In Angular, hydration refers to making a server rendered application interactive by attaching the event listeners and enabling the dynamic features on the client side. In full application hydration, this process happens all at once. So this one we have seen it. Limitations of the full hydration. So what are the limitations of the full hydration? First one is the larger JavaScript bundles, and content loading above the fold, the visible part of the page, can result in the layout shifts if placeholder content is replaced dynamically. So that is one thing. So differable views. So at the rate differ, what is this one? At the rate differ is a mechanism to load parts of the application lazily. It allows developers to specify parts of the UI that can be loaded later depending on certain conditions or triggers. So before incremental hydration, how it look like? If differ content is placed above the fold, means the placeholder would render first, followed by the main content, causing the layout shift. This is actually, we have already learned about this differ block concept when we are learning. So before incremental hydration, we used to have a differ content, and whenever the differ content is there, means first the placeholder would load first, would render first, followed by the main content, causing the layout shift. So with incremental hydration, Angular ensures that the main template of the differ block is rendered during hydration without placeholder transitions, avoiding the layout shift automatically without loading the placeholder automatically. With incremental hydration, the main content will be loaded automatically. So enabling the incremental hydration, what are the prerequisites we need to enable the incremental hydration? First one is the server side rendering. So the application should be server side rendering. This ensures that application is rendered on the server and sent as HTML to client for faster initial display. Follow Angular SSR guide to enable this Angular SSR application. And hydration. So ensures the server render app becomes interactive on the client side. Follow Angular's hydration guide for setup. And how to enable the incremental hydration? Use the provide client hydration function from Angular platform browser. Pass in that provide client hydration with incremental hydration configuration to it. So this is the how you will be passing it. So like this you will be having in our app.config.ts file. So bootstrap application app component will be there. And here in the providers you will be providing this provide client hydration, and in this one inside you will be providing the with incremental hydration. So what happens when it is enabled? Angular uses the incremental hydration instead of the full hydration. Event replay covered. So we have learned about this event replay, right? So it is enabled automatically where there is no need to enable it especially. So what is the event replay? So I will try to recap this event replay thing. A mechanism that queues browser events triggered by the user, example clicks input, before hydration completes and replace them once hydration is finished. So we already discussed about this one in our previous video. So for example, let's say that when the server renders the HTML, when server sends the HTML to the client, automatically the HTML will be rendered to the browser. But when the user before hydration, if he clicks or something, if he does some user interaction to this one, those all will not be triggered. So afterwards, if you use this event replay, so after the hydration is completed, so those all the events whichever the user has interacted, it will be replayed. So that is the thing. But when you enable this with incremental hydration, automatically event replay also will be enabled. So there is no need to especially mention this with event replay. That is what I am trying to say. I am trying to tell. Why is it important? Without event replay, users may interact with the page before hydration finishes, leading to unresponsive behavior. So this is one thing. So relation to the incremental hydration. Incremental hydration automatically enables the event replay. If you were previously using with event replay, means you can remove it once the incremental hydration is enabled. So there is no need to use the with event replay. Hydrate triggers. What are they? Triggers define when deferred content should be hydrated, loaded and made interactive. So example triggers will be scrolling into view, user interactions like click. So just like the differ how you will be having, the incremental hydrations also you can make the triggers also for that one. So like interaction, hover, like that we can do it. I will try to explain you those all the things with examples. So just I am trying to tell you the triggers also available, just like the differ block how it will be having the trigger types, those will be there. How do they work with incremental hydration? During server side rendering, Angular loads and renders the main template of the differ block instead of the placeholder. That is one thing. So directly when you are trying to go to a particular page, means server renders the HTML. Instead of rendering the placeholder, the server side when you are trying to use it, automatically the main content, the differ block main content will be delivered. During client side render, dependencies for differ content are deferred and stay inactive until the page fires. Once the trigger fires, fetch dependencies, hydrate the content and replay any queued events. So that is one thing. So how does incremental hydration works? Core principle, combines existing features, build on full hydration, differable views and event replay. So this one is incremental hydration is built on full hydration, differable views and also the event replay. So defines hydration boundaries. What are the boundaries for this hydration? Using differ block with hydrate triggers, Angular hydrates only the required parts, renders main template early, prevents placeholder content from being displayed, reducing the layout shift. So this is one thing. So optimized client side behavior. Dependencies are only fetched and hydrated when needed, saving resources and improving the load times. So the total summary of this incremental hydration is a significant performance improvement in Angular, focusing on smaller initial bundles for faster loads, avoiding the layout shift using the differ with hydrate triggers, ensuring seamless user interaction through event replay. This optimization is crucial for applications that lead to balance, performance and interactivity, especially when dealing with the large complex US. So this is all about the basic concept of this incremental hydration. So whenever you are having a full application, instead of using the full hydration concept and all those things, so if you want to incrementally hydrate the application means, then this incremental hydration will be very much useful. Right now in Angular 18 it is in the developer preview, so if you want to use it means you can use it without any issue. So hope you understood about this concept of incremental hydration. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video, and if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel leelawebdev. Today we are diving into an exciting feature of Angular 19, that is nothing but the differ directive and its powerful hydration triggers. So we have learned in our previous video about the differ directive, how we can use it and what are the different types of triggers that are available in the differ. We have seen it. In the same scenario for hydration also, you will be able to have this type of triggers. So these triggers let us optimize when and how content is loaded and hydrated, boosting our app's performance. By the end of this video, you will master using the differ with hydrate triggers like hydrate on, hydrate when and also the hydrate never. Let's get started. So now normally the differ directive allows us to delay the loading and hydration of heavy or non-critical content until specific conditions are met. This makes our applications faster and more responsive. Angular provides several triggers to control when hydration happens. So let us see one by one. So normally the triggers which we will be having is, it provides 6 powerful triggers. If you I will try to explain you. I will close these all the things so that you will be able to understand it. Yeah, here I will. So these are the 6 powerful hydrate triggers. First one is hydrate on idle, hydrate on viewport, hydrate on interaction, hydrate on hover, hydrate on immediate and hydrate on timer. So additionally I also have an hydrate when for custom conditions and hydrate never to skip hydration entirely. Now let's try to see each trigger one by one. First one is, so first of all you need to enable the incremental hydration in our app. So in order to use this type of feature, first of all you need to do the incremental hydration. So for this one, in our app.config.ts file, so here you need to provide client hydration with incremental hydration. So this is the incremental hydration, you need to provide it, and there is no need to use this with event replay. So with event replay you will be able to have it, right? There is no need to provide. If you are using this incremental hydration means automatically the event replay is also included, so there is no need to separately mention that one. So now, so after implementing this incremental hydration, so now first one is the hydrate on idle. For example, let's say that hydrate on idle. So if you are having something like, let's say that in our app.component.html file, so you are having an app.large component. So this is the component which we have created. So if you want to this one when the browser is idle, so if you want to hydrate means, then you need to use hydrate on idle. So this triggers hydrates content when the browser is idle. Perfect. This is perfect for loading non-critical components. So here the large component loads when the browser is idle. The placeholder displays a fallback until hydration. So this one will be displayed until hydration. The next one is the viewport. So hydrate on viewport triggers hydration when content enters the viewport using the intersection observer API. So here if you try to use the viewport here, okay, so that means it delays loading until the user scrolls down to the component. So for example, let's say that this app.large component is there at the bottom means, so until and unless it enters into the viewport, so this will not be hydrated, then afterwards it will be hydrated. Another one is the interaction. So interaction means whenever any interaction happens means, so hydrate interaction triggers when the user clicks or presses a key on a specified element. So this is how you will be using it. So interacting like that. And another one is hover. So you can also know whenever we hover this one, so you will be able to hydrate this. And next one is the immediate. So hydrate and immediate triggers hydration as soon as other non-deferred content has been loaded. Other non-deferred content has been loaded means, then this hydration will be happen. So next one is the hydration on timer. So timer means it delays hydration by a specified duration. So
So here you can provide the timer, hydrate on timer, and here you can provide it as in 500 milliseconds like this. So this is how you can provide it. The next one which you can use it is the last one is the hydrate when. So whenever if you are having a basic custom condition means, so when should load. So here you can have in a app.component.ts file. So you can use some condition. So when should load the variable name and you can use it. So and last one which we will be having is the hydrate never. So this one ensures content remains static even with the other triggers also. So these are the different types of hydration things which you can use it with the differ. So this is in the developer incremental hydration. So that's it for the differ hydrate triggers in Angular 19. Each trigger offers unique ways to optimize content loading, giving developers full control over hydration. So try them in your projects to enhance the performance. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So here if you by this the Angular SSR is totally completed. So if you try to check it in our thing here in our code like angular.dev. So for more details about this SSR and all those things, so you can be able to go to the docs, and here you will be able to see the server side rendering here. And now we have completed about this incremental hydration. So I have explained you these all the basic things. Now we have learned about these all the things. So you can able to understand one by one also you can learn it. So that is all about this one. We have learned about the hydration. We have learned about the incremental hydration. What is this incremental hydration also I have explained you one by one, and hydration also you will be able to understand it, and hybrid rendering with server routing also we have learned it. So how we can use it with the hybrid rendering like client render mode, client pre-render server, and these are all the things we have learned it. Build time pre-rendering also I have explained you, server side rendering. So these are all the concepts we have learned it one by one. So hope you understood about this incremental hydration also, which is in the developer preview right now, but in Angular 19 it has been introduced. So hope you understood about this concept. So by this the Angular SSR is completed. So we will jump on to the next topic, that is nothing but the Angular testing. So I will try to complete this all the thing also. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.